It's week 2 of the indoor football season, and the Johnstown Generals host the Erie Explosion. Today's battle of the cross-state rivals is brought to you by the Johnstown Generals and Penswood.net, where you can buy, sell, and trade locally. And now, get set for all the action. Live from the Cambria County War Memorial Arena, here's Dave Shannon and Sam Jordan, exclusively on the Air Network.
Yes, here we are once again, live and direct from the Cambria County War Memorial. I am Dave Shannon. You, sir, would happen to be Sam Jordan, would you not?
That is correct.
All right. We are glad to be back with you here on the Air Network, bringing you Game 2 of the Johnstown General season as they make their home opener. We hope that brings a little bit of success to this team that fought hard last week against Cincinnati, but just could not get it together to get the points on the board. One thing I've learned, and I guess this kind of makes sense, Sam, if you have a quarterback that throws for somewhere in the neighborhood of about 250 yards in this league, it's about the same as if you're playing on a full open field and you throw for 400. And that was proven last week as the Erie Explosion quarterback threw for about 228 yards, and he ended up putting 81 points up on the board for the Explosion against the Western Pennsylvania Sting.
Yeah, it was kind of a lopsided victory, but you know what? When I was talking with the coach before we came on the air here, they've got this cockiness about them. It's like they think that they're going to be able to do the same thing against Johnstown, even though Johnstown's a little bit more experienced and they've had a lot more time to practice.
And I think the other thing that Erie needs to take into consideration is exactly what happened against Cincinnati. You're talking about the league champion, and Johnstown lost to them by 20-some points. But I'll tell you what, a couple of plays go one way or the other, and you end up with Andre Coles having a little more confidence toward the end of the game like he did at the beginning. You have a different outcome in that game, whether it be a closer game, Johnstown still loses, but to just automatically dismiss them as though it would seem what you're saying, the Erie Explosion, they could be in for a long afternoon if they want to take Johnstown for granted.
Yeah, and that's so true, Dave. You hit that nail on the head perfectly. But the thing that Johnstown's got to be careful about is their wideouts. They have got some legs underneath them. They will spread it out as much as they can, and they've got a good quarterback that's got a great arm, just like Coles does. So we're going to be seeing a lot of passing here from the indication I got from both coaches here today.
Colton Hansen threw for 216 last week. Andre Coles for 236. As we mentioned, Colton Hansen put up 81 points on the board. And leading receiver over on the Erie side of things is Tyrone Morris with 106 yards in the opener. Antoine Bagwell had a really respectable game, caught 7, and ended up with 144 against Cincinnati. That's kind of performance they need out of Antoine once again, along with Xavier Thomas and Jason Good. So we'll see how the Johnstown Generals are able to fare here this afternoon. We're going to take a commercial timeout and be back with some words from the coaches as Sam talked to both Quintine Robinson and the head coach of the Erie Explosion. We'll do that after we take this timeout. You're listening to Johnstown Generals football on the Air Network.net.
Hi, this is Greg Banks of the Air Network, proud to bring you the 2012 Johnstown Generals indoor football season. You can listen to games home and away this season online or on any mobile device. The Air Network is also the home of weekly podcasts featuring the likes of columnist Dave Hurst with his take on regional activities and adventures, plus other interesting topics of discussion. By the way, if you have a sports team and want your games broadcast live worldwide, we can do it on the airnetwork.net. Call our offices weekdays at 814-539-4045 and get set to be a part of the future of radio today. The airnetwork.net, bringing you exclusive coverage of the 2012 Johnstown Generals indoor football season right here on the Air Network.
As the Johnstown Generals are introduced to their home crowd here at the War Memorial, let's check in with Quintin Robinson. He's the head coach of the Johnstown Generals, and a good one at that. Let's see what Quintin had to say to Sam before the start of today's game.
Take two.
Here on the countdown to kickoff with Coach Quintin Robinson. And Coach, we're coming off a disappointing loss here last week over in Cincinnati. This week it's the home opener. A lot of nerves, or probably maybe a little bit frayed, or maybe a lot of momentum spirited here as we get ready to kick off this game?
First of all, I'm never afraid of anything. So that terminology is never in my mind. As far as anxious, that's what I am. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to see my team, see the improvements, from the things that we put in during the week and the things that we fixed, according to watching the film. So I'm just super excited to see my guys go out there and go to war tonight.
With your quarterback and everything, a little bit rusty, which being the first game, probably a little bit. But do we feel like we've seen a lot of improvement here during practice during the week, that he may be a lot more comfortable in that slot?
Oh, yeah, he'll be sharp tonight. There's no doubt in my mind that the work that we put in and the adjustments that we made, will enable him to be real successful tonight. He's a competitor. He's not nervous. He's not upset about that. He understands that's in the past, and we moved on past that, and we look for good things in the future.
What are going to be some of the keys here that you're going to have to focus on with the Explosion?
Well, they got some nice athletes. They got some good receivers that, can stretch the field. Quarterback's pretty decent. They have a few big guys, a couple of veterans. So they're a good team as well. We're just looking at how to play them tonight.
And with Coach Liotta, I'm sure that he's looking to really put one on you here tonight.
Oh, yeah, Coach Liotta, he definitely wants to embarrass us here at home in Johnstown tonight. That's the type of guy he is. I can't be mad at him for it because it's our job to stop them. We are not the WPA Sting, no disrespect, but, they were a newer team and they haven't practiced as much, up into the game when they played them. So we're much more prepared. So if they think that's the type of ball club they're going to face today, they got another thing coming.
A little spirited there. Now, you were saying about how their receivers could really stretch things out. Do you feel like that the secondary for this Johnstown Generals team can stay up with them?
Yeah, I do believe that we can defend them pretty well. We got a couple good schemes, a couple people adjusted. It was a first game for Huron, and he still did pretty well. Every DB's on the same page right now, so I expect big things from my defensive secondary as well as more pressure from my D-line.
Now, with this being the home opener and everything, what's the mentality here as far as the front office and trying to reach out here to the community and really open up the arms?
The community is what it's all about. We're here. We got kids here right now. I got a couple guys from the Cub Scouts. My Johnstown Band of Brothers Wrestling Mac Club members are here. Congratulations to Mariah Harris. She won the girls' states today. I'm sorry I couldn't be with you, but I definitely give you a shout out. She got first place in the state girls' championships today, so I'm proud of her.
All right. As we look into the final preparations here for this contest, any closing comments you'd have?
Generals are ready. We're ready to perform in front of our home crowd. We love the support of the local people because that's what it is at the end of the day. So we're anxious to get started, and we'll see how it goes. Generals win.
All right. We'll talk to you after the game.
Thank you.
All right, that's Quintin Robinson, and Sam also had an opportunity to talk with the head coach of the Erie Explosion, and that is Sean Liotta. And let's see what Sean had to say, his take on the game here today.
Interview with Erie Explosion coach.
And we'll get to that in just a second here.
Here on the countdown to kickoff, we're with Erie Explosion coach Sean Liotta. And Coach, heading into another week of the United Indoor Football League, coming off an explosive 81-7 victory over the Western PA Sting last week. Do you feel like that maybe a little bit different here with the Johnstown Generals, or are you expecting about the same?
Oh, no question. Johnstown's got a great team. Like I told our guys last week, if we don't play better than we played against the Sting, we're going to get beat here today. So there's a lot of things we need to clean up. We worked hard on that at practice this week, and I'm looking forward to seeing the results here today.
What are some of the things that you can tell the fans about your Explosion team and what they can be looking for?
Oh, we're going to throw the ball all over the place. We're going to try to score some points. And, I think we've got a good defense. I also think Johnstown's got a good team from what I saw them. I was impressed with them against Cincinnati last week. I thought they did a lot of things well. I thought they had some key mistakes that kind of contributed to the loss, especially when you're going against a veteran team like that. And we're kind of in the same boat as Johnstown. They got a lot of new guys in the lineup. They may even have more veterans than we do. I think we had 12 guys that were new starters for us last week out of the 18-man. So, we got some guys that are still kind of learning this game. I think are really talented and, just excited to see how they can continue to progress.
What are some of the expectations that you and your staff have with this squad from Erie?
Well, our goal is, we want to bring a championship to Erie. I think same as any team in this league would. But you got to take it a game at a time. This is going to be a big-time test for us here. Anytime you go on the road, like I say, style points, don't matter. If we have to win the game 35-32, we're going to win the game 35-32. If we can push it how we want to, ideally we want to be in the 60s or 70s point-wise to kind of be in the kind of game we want to try to play. So it's going to depend on, how the flow of the game goes. And when you go on the road, the key is you don't lose the game in the first quarter. You got to make sure you hang around and you get in at halftime and you have a chance to come out and make some adjustments in the second half and, have a chance to win on the road because it's hard to win on the road in these leagues. These leagues are not designed for teams to, go on the road and be successful a lot of the time. So we got to keep the crowd out of it. That's a big thing too.
And with this general squad, what are some of the keys that you're looking at trying to control or keep the pace with your, side?
Oh, we have to stop 88. He's their playmaker on offense. He's a great player. They've got a good defense. I think they've got a good defensive line. We've got to neutralize them. I think their DBs are veterans. They've got some guys coming back to kind of know the game where might give them a little bit of advantage over some of our receivers that are maybe new to it. I think those are the keys along with, like I said, they have a veteran quarterback. We've got to get pressure on him and we've got to make sure he can't get in a rhythm and get something going with Bagwell, number 88. He's a great player. The scary thing about him is, he was an outdoor running back, NFL type running back, and he's one of those guys you throw a hitch to him, a 5-yard hitch, he'll break a couple tackles and score. So we've got to make sure we wrap up and we're in the right position.
Any closing comments as we head into the kickoff?
I'm looking forward to it. It looks like they have a great crowd filing in here, and we're excited to go on the road and we weren't really tested last week. We kind of just took care of business. I like that we were professional with the way we did it, but we're gonna have a real test here tonight, and we'll see if we rise to the occasion.
First of 4 battles against the Generals, 2 up at your place and 2 here, and the first being today. Do you feel like this could be a good in-state rivalry?
Oh, there's no doubt. You can tell right now. You can tell by kind of the animosity that's kind of out there on the field right now. And I think it's all in, good sportsmanship. But, certainly they have some words for us. We have some words for them. And, that's what makes it fun for the fans and fun for everyone that's a part of this.
All right. Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thank you.
And there you have it, Coach Liotta's thoughts on the game coming up today between his Erie Explosion and the Johnstown Generals. I don't know that he's a little bit optimistic there if he thinks, so you put in a great effort against the Western Pennsylvania Sting. You scored a lot of points. I don't know how realistic the expectation for 60-some points a game is. Here's Cincinnati, the defending champion from their former league, and they put up 48 against Johnstown. So I'm sorry. I think that's just a little bit pie in the sky.
Yeah, and I agree with you, and I think it could be a rude awakening coming up here for this Erie team. But we'll have to play the game to find out.
Yes, that we will. Now the Johnstown Generals will be kicking off to the Erie Explosion. Matt DeMoncos is kicking off, and deep for Erie, it is Tyrone Morris, wide receiver for the team. He played at Alabama A&M, or at least at one point during the course of his college time. So we're all set to go, 15-minute quarters. We have 4 of those set to roll. We have a crowd here in the War Memorial ready to see some football with their Johnstown Generals, even though it says Huntington Hammer in the middle of the field. And the kickoff goes back, and it hits it it hit up in the ceiling.
Yeah.
And deflected down. All right, so it's a touchback. And that means it will be Erie Explosion ball, and they get that nice start at the 20-yard line. That can be really huge, Sam.
Yeah, it can, and then we come to find out that was the case several times in the game last week at Cincinnati, with hitting the scoreboard and allowing them to get the extra 5 yards to start out at the 20-yard line. But let's see how well this Generals defense can handle it.
Colton Hanson, the quarterback, as we said, had a great week last week. 16 of 38 for 216 yards. Only threw at 42.1%, but the points were what mattered. And they put up 81 of those. The man in motion is Terry Jackson. There's a pass. It's complete over the midfield stripe and eventually bumped out of bounds at the 20 of the Johnstown Generals is A.J. Harris of the Explosion. And that's a first down, 1st and 10, as they gained exactly 10 to the Generals' 20.
Well, evidently the Generals had to make some more uniform changes because 40's not even on the roster.
All right.
At least not for them.
All right, very good. Colton Hanson with the 2 men in motion. Hanson back to pass, lets it go down toward the end zone, and it's incomplete. He ran out of time. Nice rush from the Johnstown Generals. Terry Jackson was his intended receiver, and he just flat ran out of time because of
Will Haas was really putting the pressure on the quarterback there for Erie, and he just unloaded it at the last moment.
All right, so that'll bring up a 2nd down and 10. Erie ball at the Johnstown Generals 20. We're just underway, 13:39 left to go in the first quarter. No score here at the Cambria County War Memorial Game 2 of the Indoor Football League season for the Johnstown Generals. Hands it back to pass. Let's go toward the end zone. Caught, touchdown. Nice catch. Tyrone Morris down there at the goal line, reaches up, pulls it in. Colton Hanson completes it, and Erie takes a 6-0 lead on the Generals.
Oh, you talk about the...
a little posing from the Explosion down at the goal line.
Comical.
Tyrone and Terry. TNT, I guess, maybe they called themselves.
Yes.
In to attempt the point after, it's J.R. Cipra. He's out of Ohio Northern. Holding the ball for him will be Terry Jackson. There's the spot. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And it makes the score Erie 7, and the Johnstown Generals with their first possession coming up, nothing. Sam?
Thanks for tuning in to the Johnstown Generals Indoor Football, exclusively heard here on the airnetwork.net, where you can follow the Generals home and away throughout the entire season. And if you're a regional business looking to market to new customers, give us a call and get your message on the next game. Call us at 814-539-4045 weekdays and see how the airnetwork.net and the Johnstown Generals can work for you.
All right, and it'll be Erie kicking off to Johnstown now. And that's a nice start when you end up with that touchback and it comes out to the 20-yard line. Now you only have a 30-yard field to work with. And that's what Erie had. They took full advantage of that. Despite a nice rush on 2nd down by the Johnstown Generals, it was Terry Jackson getting wide open and able to catch that touchdown and put his Erie Explosion up by a score of 7-0.
Where they're concerned about Bagwell for us, we need to be concerned about Jackson in the most way.
All right, they have it teed up, and they being the Erie Explosion, J.R. Cipra is ready to kick, looks back at his special teams teammates and gets ready to kick it away. As we had mentioned last week, you can score points on the kickoff if you happen to put it through the uprights. And we did not see that happen last week in Cincinnati. He has the ball teed up at the goal line, as you do in the UIFL. And here we go. Kick is away. That does not hit anything up high, and it just misses going through the uprights. Whoa, and now we have a scuffle down here right in front of us, right in front of the Generals bench. Really not a good place for Erie to be causing a problem. Quintine Robinson is out there trying to get his troops under control, and that includes Matt Speed and some others.
Yeah, A.J. Harris and Kevin Dix really tangling it up there for their respective clubs. Pennsylvania rivalry, it's really going to show through and through here tonight.
And a big penalty, I guess. Are they going to kick it over? There are 2 flags sitting at the 10-yard line and what would be the Erie end, also at about the 6-yard line. And I don't know if this is going to be we have the officiating crew discussing it here at the 10-yard line. We'll see what they come up with. Both teams are in the Johnstown end of the field. It looks like it's going to be Johnstown ball at about the 5-yard line, giving them the entire length of the field to try to score. Personal foul on Erie, personal foul on Johnstown. The penalty's offset, and it will be Generals ball at the 20. So I guess no harm, no foul. There was harm because these guys tied up pretty rough there in around the 5-6 yard line. But both teams at fault, and so both teams get penalized, and Johnstown will take it from the 20. Not a bad place to start.
Now, Coach Leona told me in the pregame after we got done with the interview and everything that there's been a lot of jawing going on online here in the week leading up to this game.
Andre Coles looking to recover, get his confidence back, tries a handoff right off the bat. And as we saw last week, running plays go nowhere in the UIFL. As he hands the ball off to Terrell Sims, and Sims gets flattened at about the 15-yard line eventually. A little extracurricular there as Erie kept pushing him back.
Yeah, John D'Angelo was on the initial tackle there. And then this is going to be a game full of taunts all throughout. You can just see it.
Second down and 11 from the Generals 19. That pass is complete at the midfield stripe and into Erie territory. Completed to Anthony Saletti.
Yeah, Saletti got an open pass there and tried to turn around, and it was like then Erie just met up with him quickly.
And short of a first down, so that brings up a third down now for the Generals. Andre Coles back to pass. Finds somebody down the middle and threw it behind him. Pass intended for Antoine Bagwell, leading receiver last week. And he kept it down, and he also threw it behind him. And then, as Andre Coles was making his way over to the Johnstown Generals bench, he was met by one of the Erie Explosion players. It would appear as though that's a guy we don't have on our roster list. But the flags go again. And let's see what the penalty is.
Russell Fisher is that player.
All right.
And Fisher and...
penalty is going to be against the Erie Explosion, and that will give Johnstown a first down. So a big mistake there by the Erie Explosion's Russell Fisher, leading to Johnstown Generals first down. They mark that off from the point of the foul. It would appear as though that's what they've done. Yes, it is. And so that puts the ball at the Erie 13-yard line. So I'll tell you what, they can do all the jawing and everything they want, Sam, but eventually you have to come to a point where you play the game.
Right.
Man in motion, both of them for the Generals. Here's a nice slingshot pass for a touchdown. Andre Coles to Anthony Saletti. So Saletti becomes the favored receiver during that drive. And the Johnstown Generals are within a point, 7-6 in favor of Erie.
You know, everybody may be focusing on Bagwell, but Saletti, should be the man that's going to be seeing a lot of touches here this afternoon because of that focus being put on Bagwell.
Point after attempt coming from DeMoncos, and the hold out there is by Xavier Thomas. Here's a snap, a little bit high, but they get it down, and the kick is up and good by Matt DeMoncos, and we're tied. Johnstown 7, Erie 7.
Johnstown Generals games are being brought to you by First Summit Bank, the official bank of the Generals, the corner coffee shop located in Bel Air Plaza on Scalp Avenue, Conemaugh Valley Regional Ambulance, and American Screen Printing and Embroidery with 2 locations to serve you. Fans, don't forget to sign your child up for the Johnstown Generals Kids Club. It's being brought to you by First Summit Bank, the bank of the Generals, the bank that can handle all your banking needs, located on Main Street, Donald Lane, at the Walmart, and Manoa Boulevard. It's also co-sponsored by American Eagle Screen Printing and Embroidery in 2 locations on Franklin Street downtown and Cushion Street, top of the Frankstown Road, the place to go for all your screen printing and embroidery needs.
Just so you know, Sam, that's Monocker.
Monocker? Well,
yeah, Monocker.
All right.
FYI. All right, we're tied at 7, 10:39 left to go in the first quarter. 2 drives, 2 scoring drives, and we've only exhausted 4 minutes and 21 seconds. So this may be 60-some point game. Here's DeMarcos, approaches the ball, gets it up in the air, does not touch anything in the ceiling, and just missed going through the uprights.
Hit at the bottom of the bar and bounced back out.
As a matter of fact, the uprights and the crossbar are swinging in the wind because it grazed that right there. So unfortunately, the Johnstown Generals don't get any points that way, but they are tied with Erie, and that's a big plus, I think, for them to get out of the gate, get that score, even things up here on their home turf.
But, you know, Dave, that could be the one thing that could help either one of these teams in the end with the final score. Just how tight it is.
You know, getting one through the uprights, absolutely, on a kickoff. Well, let's see what quarterback Colton Hanson comes up with this time. Two guys on the right side of the line end up being in motion. Here's the pass touchdown. Erie scored that quickly. A.J. Harris, the wide receiver out of New Mexico State, wide open, blew past what you would consider your linebacker positions for the Johnstown Generals and was just all alone. So a missed assignment, and Coach Gliotta on his way back to the bench. I didn't know who he was drawing at. I don't know if we're going to end up. I'll tell you what, you don't want to be messing with Quintine.
No. But you know what? One rule that the UIFL probably doesn't have that they ought to consider is the excessive celebration.
Well, it's part of the show, and so we get to see it. J.R. Cyprian to attempt the point after. One play and another touchdown, and with the point after, it is Erie 14, the Johnstown Generals 7. 9:31 left to go in the first quarter.
Johnstown Generals indoor football is exclusively being heard on the airnetwork.net. If you'd like us to broadcast your next youth league, little league, or high school game online, call us at 814-539-4045. See how the airnetwork.net can provide your team with the best professional broadcast available online and on all mobile devices at www.theairnetwork.net. The airnetwork.net. The airnetwork.net, the future of radio today.
Just a little bit over a minute's worth of time taken off the clock, and we're at 14-7. Generals really need to have a good drive this time where they accomplish what they need to without the benefit of the penalties. We had the penalty in the kickoff last time. Then when Johnstown was going to be handing the ball over by not completing for a first down, there ends up being a penalty on Erie, which gives Johnstown a second chance at about the 13-yard line of Erie, and it didn't take Andre Coles long to hit that pass after that. So let's see what happens this time around as Cipra has it teed up at the goal line. And they're two deep for Johnstown, and that includes Daquan Young, and that one's up in the stands. You can keep the football, and there's no player to throw back either. Oh, you don't get to keep the football. That got thrown back. Antoine Bagwell was back there as well. Neither one had a chance to field it. A nice kickoff by Cipra. As I say, almost through the uprights.
The only throwback you're looking for, I think, Dave, is the hot dog.
Yeah, I still, I see no hot dogs. I see no nachos. I see nothing.
I know that they're selling them.
Yeah,
I was downstairs and got a super pretzel.
I see nothing. I hear nothing. All right, Johnstown Generals with the football at their own 20 after that touchback. This goes up into the stands, gets returned to the field. See if Andre Coles can get things started here. As the men in motion are over the goal line. This one's going deep, and it's a touchdown. One play touchdown. What a catch by Antoine Bagwell.
Flag on the play.
And there's a flag, and Erie saying that it's a penalty against the Johnstown Generals. Let's see if it's a hold on the offensive line. Nope. Shaquan Madison is on his way over to the Generals bench, and celebrating the hold instead is against the Erie Explosion. So the touchdown pass from Andre Coles to Antoine Bagwell holds true, and the Generals are back within a point, and that took less than a minute for that touchdown to happen. Now, one of the things we did, I'll tell you what, we played the third quarter there in Cincinnati last week, Sam, and the Generals kept the Commandos off the scoreboard for that entire quarter.
Yeah, but today I don't think we're going to see that. At
I don't
least
know.
not the way they're playing.
Got to make sure they catch their assignments here defensively. Matt DeMoncos waits for the snap to be put down by Xavier Thomas. Xavier doesn't. Matt ends up getting it way up over top of the netting, and it bounces around back in the stands. It's good, and we're tied at 14. 8:25 left to go in the first quarter here in the Air Network.
Fans, come and meet some of the Johnstown Generals players, coaches, and staff this Tuesday, March 13th, at American Eagle Screen Printing and Embroidery, 143 Franklin Street, located right across from Central Park. Bring your camera and get pictures of the players and autographs from 4 to 6 p.m. And also, the Generals players will be making an appearance at the Corner Coffee Shop, located at 850 Scalp Avenue in the Bel Air Plaza on Wednesday from 5 to 7. Bring your cameras, get autographs and photos with the players. All part of the Generals being a part of your community here in the Cambria County region.
And speaking of that, we're going to be talking to Colleen Flowers, Assistant General Manager and Director of Marketing for the Johnstown Generals, joining us at halftime here at the Cambria County War Memorial. So we're tied at 14. Definitely a different feel to this one, Sam, from what we had there at Cincinnati.
Oh, yes, definitely. And, I mean, Cincinnati, just more of a big veteran team. Erie, they're not as deep in their veterans that they've got compared to what Cincinnati is, and especially with the Generals.
All right, Johnstown kicking off. DeMoncos gets it away. It doesn't touch anything, and oh man, he just missed going through the uprights again at the same spot, I'd say.
Yeah, it was just a little bit under the crossbar, but DeMoncos, I think he is going to hit it today. At least once.
It would appear as though he's made that a personal goal, and he is going to do it before this game is over. And that football was kept that time by one of the young fans there in that end zone, and did not throw the football back. He wanted it, and he kept it. And he can get his Johnstown Generals to autograph for him after the game is over. Right now, more business to be done on the short side of the field right over by us. The hash marks are right down the middle of the field and not even as wide as the goalpost. That pass goes up into the stands.
Good catch.
Good catch there in the first row. But Colton Hansen ended up throwing that right to that fan in the first row
and he gives it to his girlfriend.
Section 14. And his girlfriend has a football now. Pass incompletion brings up second down and 10. That's the only play so far, to be honest with you, Sam, that Hansen has not looked that good. That pass, I'm not sure who was on a different page, whether it was the receiver or Hansen himself. The men are in motion and down the field. Instead, he goes back, and it looked as though A.J. Harris, the intended receiver, which he hit for a touchdown the last time, all by himself. He's the guy that's lining up right at the line of scrimmage as a wide receiver. And the other two guys in motion, last time Erie had the ball, that distracted Johnstown, and they left A.J. Harris wide open. Not this time. The Johnstown defense stayed put, and he was unable to complete that pass to Harris.
Yeah, General fans are getting more receptions than the Erie receiving corps.
You're going to run out of footballs at this rate. Colton Hansen is rushed. He's going to be sacked. He's sacked inside the 10-yard line.
Will Haas was a man on a mission and took Hansen down. You know, the Hansen brothers may have played in this arena, Dave, but this Hansen here is not playing up to even their level.
Well, I wouldn't count him out just yet, Sam.
All right.
I would not count him out just yet. He didn't throw 228 last week for nothing. But the Generals defense about to get their first turnover of the game, although we're going to see what J.R. Sipra can do. He's going to try the field goal from the 3-yard line of the Erie Explosion. A makeable shot, to be sure. It's got about 52 yards or so, but he pulls it to the right. He pulled it to the right, so it's an empty possession for Erie that time around. And now it's time for the Generals to pounce on that opportunity.
Well, anyway, the Johnstown Generals games are being brought to you by the Elks Club on Horner Street. Generals After Party Spot, Keystone Rehabilitation System, the Oakwood Restaurant in Davidsville, and Concurrent Technologies Corporation. Appreciate all these great sponsors in bringing you Generals football here on the Air Network.
We're tied at 14 with 6 minutes left to go in the first quarter. And it will be Johnstown's third possession. Their first 2 touches of the football led to touchdowns. Let's see what they can come up with this time. Last time, 1 play, touchdown. Sometimes scoring fast is not the best thing in the world. Andre Coles with a pitch back. The ball's loose on the floor. Let's see what they call. See who comes up with the football. And it's recovered by the Johnstown Generals. And
Sims.
Johnny on the spot action for Sims, as that's who the pitch went to. And it certainly looks as though Quintine's trying to make something happen. As far as the ground game goes, that's the second play. Ran 7 last week. They did get a touchdown with Coles running it in, but they ended up gaining negative yards. Coles' pass is incomplete. He throws it wide. His intended receiver, Jason Good.
And that ball went into the stands, so I hope they have several cases of footballs because they're going to need them the way it's going.
They're going to have to bring in a tractor trailer at this point, Sam. I mean, both quarterbacks now, the defense is stiffening up just a little bit. I don't think we're going to stay at 14 for a whole lot of time, but right now the defense is having their way with the offenses. It is 3rd down and 10 for the Generals, the ball at their own 10. Andre Coles back to pass down the middle of the field. Incomplete, that intended for Antoine Bagwell on a post pattern there. And it was just a little bit too tall, and right in the immediate vicinity, A.J. Saunders with the defense for Erie.
Yeah, nice post pattern there they were running, but Coles just couldn't connect like he was looking for with Bagwell.
All right, and coming back now to the bench and swapping in, instead of A.J. Saunders, it is Tyrone Morris. Deep for Erie. Tied at 14, clock rolling. We're under 4 minutes. We have Matt DeMoncos in to once again try that from the 3-yard line. There's Matt's kick. It's true. Does it? Yes! He made it! Matt DeMoncos from the 3-yard line kicks it with just enough to get over the crossbar and in between the uprights, and it puts Johnstown ahead. Generals take the lead, 17-14.
AirNetwork.net is the region's only provider of live sporting events, available online and all mobile devices. The AirNetwork.net will broadcast all the Johnstown Generals games live home and on the road this season, along with interviews of your favorite players, coaches, and staff, plus action-packed play-by-play with the voice of the Generals, Dave Shannon. Each game only at www.theairnetwork.net.
So Matt DeMoncos puts the Johnstown Generals up by a score of 17-14 and will now kick off. So the table is tilted in Johnstown's favor. Each team with 3 possessions. Johnstown netting points on all 3 possessions. The Erie Explosion only on 2. DeMoncos set the kick off. He tees the ball up over toward the right side of the field, facing out of the end zone. This one's high, doesn't touch the rafters, almost goes through the uprights again.
That was probably his highest one going through, but just to the right.
All right, it'll be a touchback, Erie ball, 1st and 10 at their own 20.
And the Johnstown Generals games are being brought to you by Rossi's Country Market in Hooversville, the Winber Hotel, Burnt Coffee in Pittsburgh, and Clay and Gascoigne LLC in Johnstown and Indiana. Johnstown Generals fans, listen for your chance to dance for your dinner, sponsored by the Oakwood Restaurant, located in Laura View Village in Davidsville. 3 lucky fans will be selected to participate. Listen for your seat to be announced and come to the party pit area 5 minutes before halftime. The fans will be the judges.
All right, let's see what Colton Hansen can do this time. Throws another one into the stands, and there's a real problem with communications. Terry Jackson did a button hook, and when he did the hook, Hansen acted as though he thought he was going to continue toward the sideline, and that's where he threw the ball. And, of course, Jackson's still back around the yard markers, the actual yardage numbers on the field.
Yeah, and they're both even height. I mean, Hansen's got an inch taller on Morris, but just not connecting. There they go.
That time they do make a completion, and that's to Terry Jackson. And the coverage there by the Generals, number 40.
Don't know.
So it is short of 1st down yardage, though. It's a gain of 8. And a 3rd down and 2 now for the Erie Explosion. Johnstown up by a score of 17-14 with 2:28 left to go here in the first quarter. Colton Hansen, 2 men in motion. Looks off one, now rolls to his right, looks downfield, nobody open, lets it go, and it's caught for a touchdown. What a play. No one was open, and stepping in front of Daquan Young was Tyrone Morris, and scoring for the Erie Explosion, making it a 20-17 Erie lead. Daquan was just turning around as the pass was headed in that direction. Timing is everything, and in that case, it paid off in 6 for the Erie Explosion. J.R. Sipra is in to attempt the point after. He gets it up. It's good. And that makes it Erie 21, Johnstown 17. 1:37 left to go here in the first quarter.
Join the AirNetwork.net Saturday, March 24th at 7 o'clock p.m. when the Generals travel to Marion, Ohio. That's just north of Columbus, Dave, to face the Marion Blue Racers. Follow all the action of the Johnstown Generals indoor football, home and away all season long, exclusively at the AirNetwork.net. Online or on any mobile device, get your tickets for home games at thejohnstowngenerals.com. And follow the Generals live on every game at theAirNetwork.net.
All right, after a good defensive stand last time around, that time it was easy pickings, as it was a nice pass play, and hats off to Colton Hansen as he is able to get that one in there. And that was a timing thing. I mean, Daquan tried to get in front of him, but he was turning just as Hansen let the ball go. Didn't really have the kind of time he needed to step in front and make an interception, or at least break up that pass. And so it results in 6. That one hits the speakers up in the center rafter here at the Cambria County War Memorial on the kickoff from J.R. Sipra, and it falls down, so it'll be Generals ball, 1st and 10 at their own 20 as they try to once again tilt the table back in their favor when it comes to the points here.
Well, the Generals, I mean, they had that little slight advantage with that long field goal there. But I think now they're going to have to try to get another touchdown here, Dave, to kind of get that little extra advantage. I mean, they're trailing by 4, but they would only be up by 3 if they would get a TD. Or they could go for 2 points.
Well, that's always a possibility. Nobody even tried that last week, but then again, in that Cincinnati-Johnstown game, you really didn't need to. The men.
Fumble.
And there's a fumble on the snap, as Sam said. Let's see if Andre Coles got back on top of it. They're holding up the 2, 2nd down, so I don't know if it was, it was Coles that recovered that. So Andre, having trouble on the exchange, is able to recover. Loss of 2 and a 2nd down and 12.
Dave, one thing that I noticed was kind of funny. Terry Jackson was down on the ground, but on top of him was the General Shaquane Madison, 290-pounder, and Jackson is like 185. He's like, let me up, I need air.
Coles under center this time, takes the snap, a little quick swing pass, and it's caught by Liata, who tosses it back to the fans. The head coach of the Erie Explosion catching that pass intended for Anthony Saletti.
So it's going to be a lot of footballs for fans here today.
Clock continues to run, 15 seconds left here in the first quarter, and a 21-17 Erie lead on the Johnstown Generals, the home openers for the Johnstown Generals here. Clock continues to roll. It's going to run out. It will be 3rd down and 12 when we return and get ready to bring you more action as the Johnstown Generals are hosting the Erie Explosion right here on the Air Network.
Fans, the Johnstown General players and staff.
The 9/11 memorial is for the 343 firefighters who didn't make it.
It will honor my lost partners and the officers who responded that morning.
It's for my brother. He was everyone's best friend.
For my husband, who never came home.
And the first responders who saved my life.
It's about hope for the future.
So we always remember September 11th.
It will heal our community.
Show the world that we can rebuild.
That we are united.
And that we are strong.
Because the best of humanity can overcome the worst hate.
It's for all the heroes like my dad.
This is Robert De Niro. This year, as we open the 9/11 Memorial in New York City, we ask that you join us to honor, remember, and reunite. To learn more or to reserve your visit, go to 911memorial.org.
And there you have it. We're underway here in the second quarter, just getting started. And I'll tell you what, he had guys hanging all over him, did Andre Coles. He got the pass away. It was intended for Antoine Bagwell. Actually, he and Saletti crossing route right in the middle of the field, and neither one of them able to come up with that. Yeah, so it goes incomplete and a fourth down.
Yeah, Coles had people hanging on his jersey and still got the pass off, but just couldn't connect.
So Johnstown now. We'll see what can happen as Matt DeMoncos gets set to try a field goal. He was good with this before as we get the Generals back within one. And holding it is Xavier Thomas, the X-Man. The kick is up, and the kick is plenty good. Wow. Right down the center of the field. Matt held it right there, and it's 21-20 in favor of Erie. It's Johnstown Generals football right here in the Air Network.
Hey fans, the Johnstown Generals players and staff are going to be going to the Elks, located on Horner Street after the game for an after-game party. Come and meet the players and staff in person and have a good time. Players and staff will be available for pictures and autographs there as well. So, and also after the game, you've also got a chance to come down on the field for autographs and pictures immediately following every home game with the Generals here and the Air Network.
All right, as the Generals do get points out of that, even though that drive went nowhere, a -2 yards overall, as we had that fumble that was recovered by Coles, and that eventually led to them going 4 and out, except for the DeMoncos field goal. 13:54 left to go in the first half, 21-20, Erie with the lead. Very competitive game here at the Cambria County War Memorial in downtown Johnstown. Matt DeMoncos tees it up right down the middle of the field, and he clipped one of the banners, the Pitbull Secure Technologies banner, at about the 20-yard line at the other end, and it falls down. So, of course, that falls under the touchback rules, and it will be Erie ball at their 20.
Well, DeMoncos, I mean, he's got a leg on him. I mean, probably one of the better legs here in the league that we've seen so far. And DeMoncos from a long line of outstanding kickers here in this Johnstown area. I don't know if he's the last of the line or there's still another 1 or 2 left in the litter.
You never know. Obviously, they were genetically spliced to come out that way, so there's probably another one somewhere. All right, 21-20, Erie with the lead. And here goes Colton Hansen's pass. It's incomplete. Hansen has had his moments. That one intended for Tyrone Morris, and it is too wide for him. Seems as though both quarterbacks, Sam, in making passes at around where the yard numbers are on the field, it seems as though the players are turning in toward the field, doing a button in that direction, and it seems like the quarterbacks are expecting them to button toward the out-of-bounds area.
Right.
And so somebody needs to make sure they're all on the same page. Colton Hansen flushed out of the pocket. Lets it go. Complete touchdown. Wow. I'll tell you what, him being in trouble allowed the Johnstown Generals defense to take it a little bit easy, and A.J. Harris just blew down the field and got about a 5 and ended up catching that pass, a nice pass under duress by Colton Hansen. And the Erie Explosion are up by 7, 27-20.
Sipper will come on here for the extra point, but Johnstown really needs to formulate a plan here to kind of hold them and try to take advantage of some opportunities.
Terry Jackson, the wide receiver, is the holder for J.R. Sipra. Jackson played at Southern. That's blocked by the Generals. It's picked up, though, by Jackson, and Jackson eventually goes down at the 22-yard line of Erie.
I mean, it was Tim McGee that was in there that got his hands up there and blocked that. for the Generals, and couldn't have done that any more timelier.
6'5", 320. Just big. When you look at Tim McGee, you just say big.
Yeah, you want him on your side.
That's the words that come out of your mouth. All right. Now what this does do, that's point after attempt failing, leaves the score at 27-20. Generals with a touchdown and an extra point would tie the game back up. 12-11 left to go here in the first half. Let's see what the Generals can come up with as Antoine Bagwell is back deep along with Spuddy Daquan Young. Let's see if either of them get a chance to touch the football. I have my doubts. Cipra has been not necessarily trying to drill one through the uprights, but definitely trying to get it well past the deep men for Johnstown, and has been able to do that and get it several rows up anywhere in around the 4-row area, maybe even a little bit further. He has teed up. He is a left-footed kicker, by the way.
Lefties are always right.
And that one drifts over. It's pulled in. Antoine Bagwell out of the end zone. 5, 10, 15, 20. And he's knocked out of bounds at the 23 or thereabouts. Well, our first return of the afternoon on a kickoff, and it's done by Antoine Bagwell. He really put in an effort to pull that in, Sam.
Yeah, but I was wondering whether he was going to tuck it in there, because as he was heading to the 10-yard line, he still had that ball way out. But once he got closer to the 20 and started seeing some resistance up ahead of him, he finally got plowed into the sideboards there by Terry Jackson and A.J. Harris there.
All right, 22-yard line is where they mark it. That's where Johnstown will start this drive. Andre Coles, the quarterback, doing okay so far. It's a little flip and hit on the floor, and it bounced up, and Antoine Bagwell comes up with it. He's still trying to go. They blew the whistle a long time ago. One of the players without a shoe, and that is Antoine Bagwell. His shoe is sitting at the 20, and Antoine's in the other end zone. And Quintine's going to fetch it for him. That's nice of you.
I tell you what, he had a lot of extra energy there on that play.
Yes, he did. Well, to be honest with you, I understand why he kept going, because I did not hear a whistle either. And that's why he kept going, and that's what you're taught to do. Eventually, they did blow it, but after he got back up and kept going, I think his assumption was, hey, my knee didn't touch it, didn't blow the whistle. I'm going to keep going, and he did. However, he's down with a 5-yard gain. There's a pass for a first down from Andre Coles to Anthony Saletti. A new favorite receiver for Andre Coles. Andre has a chat with Quintine on his way back to the huddle, and it's a first down for the Generals, trying to tie this back up.
Yeah, John D'Angelo and Enrique Shaw in there on the tackle there for the explosion. So Johnstown trying to open some things up here and show a few different looks here to the explosion.
The men are in motion. Andre Coles back to pass. Lets it go. Oh, my. Saletti was the intended receiver, and it was just a little bit behind him as he spun there on that little hook play, down about the 5-yard line, and just enough behind him that he couldn't reel it in, and Saletti will come out of the Johnstown lineup as something different is going to come Erie's way, probably something in the direction of Antoine Bagwell.
Well, Bagwell, when he came out to get his shoe on, that was when Saletti came in, so that was a quick one play for Saletti.
But they do tend to use both of them at times, not this particular time, though, as the Generals a little bit confused there. Jason Good was split wide right, which is the short side of the field. He comes over to our side. Here's Coles, back to pass. Looking downfield, wide open in the end zone, touchdown! Pass complete to Xavier Thomas. And it's a 27-26 Erie lead. And the Johnstown Generals have the opportunity to tie it up with a point after.
Xavier Thomas thought he was going to lay in some blue snow down there in the end zone there with that big catch. I mean, you couldn't ask for a more wide open player than what Thomas was.
All right.
Chance to tie.
9:26 left to go in the first half. A 27-26 Erie lead. Matt DeMoncos tries to tie it. There's a snap. Good one. Good hold. And a good kick. We are tied at the War Memorial in Johnstown. 9:15 left to go in the first half. Johnstown 27, Erie 27. It's halftime at the Cambria County War Memorial in Johnstown. I'm Dave Shannon along with Sam Jordan, and we're joined at halftime by the Assistant General Manager and Marketing Director of the Johnstown Generals. That is Colleen Flowers. Colleen, welcome to the broadcast position here on the Air Network. Nice to have you up.
Hi, how are you?
Okay. What all is it taken to get this off and rolling? Ideas are hatched, and then eventually it turns into a team, and you have to get all this together and ready to go. Tell us what went on during the winter months.
Oh, just a lot of planning and organizing different people, bringing everybody together and making sure that there's some entertainment in place for everybody aside from the football. But, of course, the football is the main focus. I think everybody comes out to watch them.
Yeah, well, they definitely have an entertaining team to watch here. And Quintine Robinson is quite the head coach, as I'm sure you're well aware.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy and an amazing coach.
Yeah, no question. What things will be coming up here over the course of the season? Many more games to come here at the War Memorial.
Well, March 30th, our next home game, we play the Western Pennsylvania Sting at 7:30. We're having a Hometown Heroes Night. We're going to honor our veterans and our active military, along with police officers, firefighters, and EMS workers. We're hoping to get everybody in here. The tickets will be $7 each for those guys. And want to put together a nice halftime show that really shows how much we appreciate everything they do.
Sounds like a well-deserved salute to our area men and women that have worked so hard overseas protecting us.
Oh yeah, they definitely deserve our support. I don't think we do enough to support them, and we just really want to show them some love.
Anything else coming up that the folks should be aware of? Any kind of giveaways that may be in the offing?
We're working on a few things, trying to get things in the works for MMA night on April the 7th. We want to do some giveaways there, jersey giveaways, possibly some mini helmets, things like that. We have a lot in the works, just trying to get everything hammered out.
And we've got a couple of meet and greets that are coming up here this week as well at a couple of the general sponsors. You want to tell us a little bit about those?
Yes, we have one coming up at the Corner Coffee Shop. I believe it's on the 14th of March. Don't hold me to that date, but I believe that's when it is. We really want to show them a lot of support and love. They've fed our players, a lot of our players, and we just want to give something back to them, and we're hoping it'll be a good turnout for everybody.
No doubt. What else goes on? I mean, I have been through this as I organized an independent minor league baseball team. And I know what, by the way, that Corner Coffee Shop thing is the 14th.
Oh, good.
Says right there. Just thought I'd check to be sure. So that is on the 14th. Make your plans. What else has been going on inside the offices? I know sometimes it just seems like the mountain is so steep and high.
Yeah, sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. We really just making sure that everything is streaming smoothly between the business side of things and the football side of things to try to make it one cohesive organization. Obviously Quintine and the coaches have a lot of work that they do with the guys. We have a lot of talented players. And then in the office, we have a lot of organizing on the business end. So just trying to make those two come together and everything to flow.
All right. Well, so far it would appear as though that that has been accomplished. And by the way, don't ever get rid of Steve Grassmeyer.
Oh, we never would. We never would.
That
ever.
man has been a godsend.
Yeah, ever. We would never get rid of him.
Just a tip of the cap to Steve. I mean, he took care of us, helped to introduce us to the team, and really on our trip to Cincinnati, made sure everybody was there, did all the things that just to make sure it went smoothly, and worked at it the entire time.
I don't think I could function without Steve.
You know what? He repaired the DVR, or the DVD player in the bus.
He is the fix-it. He's the go-to guy.
Yeah.
He can fix anything that breaks. I mean, I don't know how to get through my day without Steve. Honestly, I don't.
We need to have Steve Grassmeyer night here in one of the upcoming games. No, but it's been great to work with you folks, and we're glad that we have the opportunity to bring people to the action of the Johnstown Generals, because this is amazing football to me. It took me a game to get used to it. I expected certain things, and then I came to realize, no, you don't run the football. You throw the football.
Right.
And we have already tried to run a couple of times here tonight. It's just not gone well. That's not the way the game is. It's a short field, 50 yards. And the other thing I've come to know is if you can throw for about 225 yards, you might as well be in the NFL throwing 400.
Exactly.
So it's amazing to watch the game. It's constant action that's going on. This one is really spirited. We went to Cincinnati, and that was kind of a cordial, competitive athletic event. This has been a little more smash mouth, trash talk, that kind of stuff.
Johnstown's a big football town. We take our football seriously here. So the fans really turn out, put it out. The players do the same.
Yeah, they definitely are giving Erie their money's worth. All right, Colleen, we appreciate you taking the time. I know you have some other things to do here at halftime. So good luck. And once again, that is the 30th of March when the Generals will be back here at home next week on the road in Marion, Ohio.
Right. Thank you.
All right. That's Colleen Flowers from the Johnstown Generals. We appreciate her taking the time to come up and join us here and talk about all the things it takes to put a professional team on the field week after week and, make sure that everything runs as smoothly as possible. Right now, they're doing a little punt, pass, and kick.
You got it.
Competition here with youngsters that have come down out of the stands, and they get to be on that field that their Generals play on and give it a shot. And they're having a good time here. Some of the padding falling down off of the boards along the side, and they're trying to put everything back together. It's kind of like a big jigsaw puzzle. With a notable exception of the field, it is one nice, clean, long, green rug. And right now, it does say Thunder in the end zones. Understand that with hockey season at the level of the Wheeling Nailers coming to an end, with that hockey season coming to an end, that will be it for the War Memorial for this year, or at least for this spring. We'll see what comes our way here in the fall, as there's a discussion as to what may be going on and what hockey may be inside the Cambria County War Memorial for next season, starting maybe sometime in September, October, somewhere in that area. So we'll see what is to come. But the War Memorial, a great place to host these type of events. The War Memorial fixed up inside. We have managed to end up with all new seating around the War Memorial Arena. And, of course, in the one end zone, you have this wonderful setup where the fans have, it's kind of like a deck, a patio deck. You're watching the game from a patio deck. And Sam has just managed to quaff some good information as we find out the person wearing number 40 on the General side of the football is Garrett Herron.
Well, you know what? I mean, after the game that he had in Cincinnati, I mean, it's like, where's Garrett at? How come we haven't been calling his name? Didn't see a 44 out there, and we just got confirmation that Garrett has been playing the entire game, but he is number 40. Last week at Cincinnati, he was number 12 and making all the big plays. But I guess this week they had to do a little switching around, and I guess you'll have that.
Grassmeyer got his bingo board out, and that's the number he came up with.
Oh.
That's the way it works. There's a little bingo going on in the General's locker room from time to time. All right, the Generals making their way back on the field along with the Erie Explosion as we get ready for a second half of action here at the War Memorial. With the score, Erie 30, Johnstown 27. We'll take a quick timeout and be back with the second half of action from the War Memorial here on the airnetwork.net. Back with more after this.
7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's one every 26 seconds. So here's a 26-second message of encouragement.
Hi, I'm Stacy. Look, I've been there. It's tough. And I just want to say, if you find yourself feeling negative, use it as motivation. Let it be like the fuel in the fire to keep you going. Because the best is yet to come. Seriously, you're capable of great things. Things you probably haven't even dreamed of yet. So don't quit now. See you at graduation.
Do you have 26 seconds to convince a student to stay at their desk? Now you can share your message of support at boostup.org. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step. Brought to you by the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
As we get set for a second half of action here at the Cambria County War Memorial, Dave Shannon, Sam Jordan, Johnstown Generals football on the Air Network. The Generals will receive the kick to start the second half, and it is J.R. Cipra kicking off. And back deep for the Generals is Daquan Young, joined back there this time by, is that Matt Speed back there?
I think it is.
And it's taken by Daquan out over the 5, 10, makes a spin move and is taken down. Nifty tackle there. He tried to spin away from a special teams tackle by Erie's Bob Hammer out of Mercyhurst, a local school there in the Erie area. And it's a nice tackle. Mercyhurst product spins him around and brings him down at the 13-yard line. So it's Generals ball, 1st and 10. They try to even it up or maybe take the lead here as we get underway in the second half.
Yeah, I think the Generals have got a mission here. Quintine probably giving them a good talk here at halftime, how to overcome some of these setbacks that they've experienced here in the first half.
All right, it's Andre Coles, the quarterback. Had a good first half here for the Generals. He's back to pass from his 5. Lets it go. Caught at the 20. Out over the 25 midfield into Erie territory. Nice catch, Jason Good. And a Johnstown Generals first down.
A.J. Saunders trying to hold on for dear life to the jersey there to pull him down. But, I mean, just like the Generals just had to keep rolling right on along there. The battle is on for the Generals here against the Explosion.
No huddle that time. Andre Coles meeting with all his receivers individually, kind of going around, motions for his men to get in motion. Lets a pass go toward the end zone. Caught inside the 5 at about the 3-yard line. And that is Anthony Saletti with the reception for Johnstown.
Yeah, Saunders kept saying, no, it hit the ground, but no. Saunders was not even close to being correct on that. And the Generals, they're down to the 2.
Saletti, 5'9", 175-pound wide receiver for the Generals. And the men are in motion. Andre Coles rolls to his left. He was going to try to run it in just like he did in Cincinnati, and perhaps Erie saw the game film of that, and they stop him short of the goal line at about the 1.5-yard line.
Yeah, they're actually going to place it at the 2, Dave. I mean, Erie just read that play all along. Like you said, they probably saw the film and saw what Coles could do there, especially the performance he had in the second half.
Andre Coles at 6'4", as we had mentioned last week at Cincinnati, in some cases can just kind of lean into the amount of yardage that he needs. The men are in motion. It's Bagwell and Saletti. Pass goes toward the, the 12th row in the end zone in section 18. So that one goes incomplete.
Yeah, I think it kind of threw off guard there. Some of the fans up there that high, they thought they were going to get a good aerial view of this game, but no, they were right in.
They got a close-up view of the football that time.
Yeah, they did.
All right, Quintine Robinson, the head coach of the Johnstown Generals, standing out there at about the 20-yard line, trying to get his team into the end zone. It is 3rd down and goal for the Johnstown Generals. There goes Saletti in motion, and the snap came late.
No, Saletti jumped.
Well, I think the snap came late, and the reason I say that is Saletti did move the way he was supposed to, and it makes it look like it was his fault, when in fact I think the I think the center missed the snap count there. I don't know if Shaquan Madison missed it or exactly what went on, but it is a penalty against the Generals, and that takes it, it's a 5-yard one, takes it out to the 7, no biggie.
Yeah, they can make that up real quick.
It is a big third down, however. Don't want to have to resort to the field goal here. Would like to take the lead if they can. Coles back, throws. Oh my, Saletti is ripped into the boards along the side. The pass was a little bit too wide for him to come down with it anyway.
But John D'Angelo just took advantage of the cheap shot there to burying him into the sideboard.
He certainly did do that.
Now it'll be 4th down.
And that'll bring in Matt DeMoncos to try to tie it up. 11:27 left to go in the third quarter. Erie 30, the Generals 27. And Matt has done quite a job here this afternoon. We'll see if he's able to tie it up. There's the snap, good spot. Matt's kick is up and plenty good. Well, it's a good thing that wire was stripped across there. They may have lost the scoreboard at that end of the Cambria County War Memorial.
Yeah,
it knocked it down, though. And it is good. We are tied at 30. 11:04 left to go here in the third quarter at the Cambria County War Memorial.
Thanks for tuning in to the Johnstown Generals Indoor Football exclusively here on theairnetwork.net, where you can follow the Generals home and away throughout the entire season. If you're a regional business looking to market to new customers, give us a call and get your message on the next game. Call us at 814-539-4045 and see how theairnetwork.net and Johnstown Generals football can work for you and your business. Dave Shannon.
By the way, I see one of the old Red Flash players is playing for the Erie Explosion. Good old Russell Fisher on the defensive line. He wears number 43, 6'2", 260. Played for the Red Flash at the golf field over the course of time.
How many years ago, maybe?
Not that many.
2, maybe 3?
Yeah. And Matt DeMoncos with a kick, and he put it through the uprights. Kickoff through the uprights. It's a point for the Generals.
And you know what?
He played with that all day.
I told you he'd do it.
And he has.
And then they couldn't get it out of the net underneath the draw bar. And finally, one of the Erie Explosion players, number 82 there, he popped it back up and through.
All right. Well, we've seen it happen. We thought it would at some point, especially the way DeMoncos just kept zoning in on that and was missing just by the slightest of margins, maybe 5 inches or so.
It only took him 34 minutes to do it.
He can take as long as he wants. That could be the point that decides the game. 31-30, Johnstown up. Hansen's pass is incomplete and intended for Terry Jackson. You know, the other thing that does, Sam, is not only do the Generals get the point, but Erie starts at their own 5.
Yeah.
After that after that kickoff going through the uprights.
But you know what? I think the one thing that we're seeing here in this game, Hansen is having a game similar to what Coles did last week in Cincinnati, but it's been all 3 quarters so far for Hansen.
Without the interceptions, Hansen has yet to throw one. He's going to run this time over the 10, 15. He has a first down and more as he dives and falls down at about the 19-yard line. Good enough for an Erie Explosion first down.
Daquan Young reaching that hand out, trying to trip him up at around the 15-yard line, and does, and that takes Hansen down. And so, but this is probably some of the best defense that we've seen here from the Generals in quite a while.
I guess with Daquan, I could do this, and I'm doing the Aaron Rodgers move.
Yeah.
Daquan has a belt. It's a championship belt for his great defensive play. Speaking of defense, chased out of the pocket is Hansen, and you know what? He darn near completed that pass.
Yeah, the Generals Kids Club over there getting in on the action there.
Wow. He let that go. I don't know if he knew that Tyrone Morris even had a shot at it, but Hansen let it go to the left side of the field. It came down and almost in the hands of Daquan as we do the Aaron Rodgers move for him. All right. Hansen sends his receivers out. Looks down the field. Crossing pattern intercepted. No. Daquan can't hold on. Daquan Young stepped right in front of the intended receiver, Terry Jackson. Whew, baby, was that close.
Daquan is one of the most animated players, especially after that bus trip last week to Cincinnati. And I mean, got to learn a lot and talk with him while you were snoozing on the long trip back, Dave. But after that long trip, starting at 5 a.m., you might as well have. But Daquan is just an outstanding athlete here, and the Generals are lucky to have him. Belt or no belt.
Belt or no belt. 8:22 left to go in the third quarter. Generals lead by 1. Hanson's pass is complete to Terry Jackson inside the 15. It'll take 2 Generals to bring him down. And
flag at the 10.
Yeah, there's a flag back at the 10-yard line. We'll see what that's all about. Or if you're Canadian, all a boot. Referees have a quick discussion there. And let's see what they signal. It's an illegal formation called against the Erie Explosion.
And Coach Sean Leon is like, huh? How did you come up with that?
Yeah.
He's still a little puzzled on that one.
I'll tell you what, he's also had his comeuppance when it comes to whether his team was going to do to the Johnstown Generals what he did last week against the Western Pennsylvania Sting. All right, so that sets them back inside the 15 at the 14-yard line. They need to get to the 21 at Johnstown in order to get a first down. Once again, it's third down. Hanson in the shotgun, back to pass, looks down the middle, and that pass is pulled in. First down and a little bit more for A.J. Harris.
Yeah, and then the Generals, Aaron Princesses, and Matt Speed in there for the stop, because otherwise he would have been gone to the end zone. No doubt on that.
Garrett Herron getting up there at the end as well. All right, it is a first down for Erie. After some fine defensive work there, the Generals let that pass get through them, and it's a first down and 10 at the 16-yard line of the Generals for the Erie Explosion. Johnstown up by virtue of the kickoff going through the uprights by Matt DeMoncos, 31-30. 7:18 left to go in the third quarter. Hanson's pass complete once again over on the left sideline. Late hit, I think, on Hanson there, or at least Hanson went down on the ground. He completed the pass to A.J. Harris. We'll see if the flag is for a late hit on Hanson.
If it is, it's going to be coming from the hands of Victor Cisse.
And the Erie players, in particular A.J. Harris, clapping his hands. It is personal foul against Johnstown. And it'll be a first and goal now for the Erie Explosion. And you really don't need to be handing the Explosion anything extra.
No.
They are capable of moving the ball down the field nicely. Thank you.
Yeah, defensive coordinator Avery Hawkins saying,
I see Avery.
Think, guys.
Yep. Avery trying to keep his guys on top of it. 31-30. Hanson takes the snap. Rolls back to about the 12. Now he cuts upfield, goes toward the end zone. He's stopped short by a yard. Late tackle by Kevin Dix.
Yeah, he was trying to zigzag his way in there, but the Generals, they were staying right there. Aaron Prince is right at the 1 yard line where he stopped Hanson. And now let's see how good this defense is. Can they stop him on this goal line stance?
If there is a place in the UIFL on the football field where you have the potential to really stop somebody, this would be it. Let's see if the Generals can. The receiver's in motion, and there's a flag taking the ball, I think, into the end zone. Well, I don't know what happened there. The official ends up falling right on the goal line, and I think the quarterback got in. I thought Hanson got in.
Yeah, I don't think there was any doubt on that, but where the flags are at, it has to be like defensive. And it is.
Okay, so the penalty against Johnstown is declined, and it makes it Erie 36, Generals 31.
Now let's see if we can get Mr. McGee here to get those hands up again and get another block.
Well, Tim is out there. Let's see what he can do. Accompanied by Will Haas, 6'3", 275. Those are two big men up on the line. Jason Good at 6'3", 255, filling in there as well, along with Victor Cisse at 6'6". Here's the snap. Oh, it's juggled, and the kick is up and good. Victor Cisse got in just at the end there. I thought he was going to make a diving block of that kick, but he did not. And here goes Terry Jackson. He's doing the Philadelphia Eagles flap. For whatever reason, I guess he's trying to say Cisse tried to fly, and he couldn't. All right, 6:02 left to go in the third quarter. It's Erie 37, Johnstown 31.
Johnstown Generals games are being brought to you by Koenigsberg Protect Systems USA, Hilltop Chiropractic in Johnstown, Hidden Valley Resort, and Proteus, sponsor of the Gridiron Circle. Also Sheer Magic at 227 Market Street in Johnstown, Advanced Office Systems, Sheets, home of the MTO, and Cambria Road Business College. Some great sponsors with Generals football. And also fans, come and meet some of the Generals players this Tuesday at American Eagle, 143 Franklin Street, located right across from Central Park. Bring your camera, get pictures of the players and autographs from 4 to 6 p.m. And that's at American Eagle, screen printing and embroidery with 2 locations on Franklin Street in downtown and Cushion Street at the top of Frankstown Road. And that will be this Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m. Dave Shannon.
Then on Wednesday, I guess, is the coffee get-together.
Yep.
So keep that one in mind, too. Chances for you to meet the Generals as the young men continue to play football here at the Cambria County War Memorial. It is 37-31 in favor of Erie, and we'll see if J.R. Cipra tries to answer Matt DeMoncos, and instead it goes off to the left and off the fingertips of Daquan Young and right into the patio area there at that end zone.
That is a nice setup. You have to agree with me, Dave. I mean, the fans are like within inches of the field.
Yep.
And having a great time.
And there's an official timeout called on the field. That'll bring us to a timeout as well with the score, Erie 37, Johnstown 31. We'll have more coming up after this on the AirNetwork.net.
If you're looking for a professional licensed and insured company to do line service, minor repairs, trash cleanup, removal, or property maintenance and security, call on Swept Away Cleaning and Preservation, now servicing Western Pennsylvania. Sheila Bollinger and her staff at Swept Away Cleaning and Preservation have the professional skills to tackle any of your home and business service problems. Check them out at SweptAwayService.com or call them at 412-295-4819. Swept Away Cleaning and Preservation. Penswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Penswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Penswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Penswood.net Classifieds has it.
Yes, indeed they do. All right, Generals with the football, and the first play, a little handoff there. Not much going on, though, as they get from the 5-yard line out to just past the 10. So we'll give them a gain of 6 on that first play. Andre Coles, the quarterback for the Generals, is back to pass, gets flushed out of the pocket, rolls to his right, throws it downfield, first down, and more. It's Bagwell. Bagwell over the midfield stripe and dives into Erie territory at about the 22-yard line. Antoine Bagwell.
Bagwell eluded 4 players. It looked like he had an obvious tackle coming, but he just slipped right behind them. And finally, they brought him down inside their own territory there, the Erie Explosion. Bagwell having a great game, Saletti just as much.
37-31, Erie with the lead on the Generals. 4:51 left to go in the third quarter. Andre Coles is back to pass, and he goes with the short pattern. Completes the pass to Jason Good, who's immediately bumped out of bounds. And a little John going on at about the 16-yard line between Good and
John D'Angelo.
I'll tell you what, it's not the first time D'Angelo's mixed it up with one of the Generals. Ends up being a gain of 5 and a 2nd and 5 for the Generals with the ball at the 17-yard line of Erie.
It was that former Red Flash player that was telling D'Angelo to calm down.
There's a pass. Oh, my. Antoine Bagwell had it in his hands. He was double-teamed out there by Enrique Shaw and John DeAngelo, and the ball ends up going incomplete. I'll tell you what, though, that shows that there's a lot of confidence in Andre Cole, Sam, to throw into that double coverage, and he threw it at a good spot, too.
Yeah, and I mean, good
it was
hands
not
of
where
Bagwell.
it could be intercepted.
Right. I mean, Coles has just got a good sense of mind on him here. He knows where to put it.
And the clock continues to roll. 3:39 left to go here in the third quarter. 37-31. Erie with the lead. Snap to Coles. Back. Let's go toward the end zone. Oh, my. He had two people he could have completed it to, and guess who they were? Anthony Saletti or Antoine Bagwell.
But I actually think that Saletti, because I had a little bit better view than you, he kind of tipped it a little bit because the player right behind him was Shaw, and Shaw was right there ready to catch it because Saletti didn't have a good pass coming right at him, but he had fingertips that kind of tipped it up.
All right. That brings up a fourth down, and the Johnstown Generals will go for it on fourth down. Just under 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter. They need 5 for a first down. Man in motion is Saletti. Back to pass is Coles. Lets it go. Saletti can't catch it. I'm not sure. That looked pretty good from here, Sam.
Yeah, it did.
He led him just right. Saletti made a gigantic circle on the field. From the line of scrimmage, he lined up on the right side, came around behind his quarterback, cut upfield, started down the sideline, then turned and went over to the other side of the field, back over to the right side where the pass was incomplete.
But I think he kind of slowed up right there at the end because the sideboards were right in front of him, and Jamal Stokes for Erie was going to make sure that he wasn't going any further.
So with the incompletion on fourth down, Erie will take over at their own 17-yard line. That may be the biggest possession of the afternoon so far. Here's Hansen, back to pass. Let's it go. Oh, my. Almost completed. Defense down there by Matt Speed. And Tyrone Morris, the intended receiver for Erie. That was a nice pass by Hansen, just a little bit short.
Yeah. And it looked like Speed, if he would have turned around soon enough, he would have had an interception.
But he did not, and it falls incomplete. Actually, I think both parties, the Generals and the Explosion, are happy with the outcome of that play. Rather not have it completed to Morris and rather not have it intercepted as well by Matt Speed. Minute 44 left to go in the third quarter. Here come the men in motion. Back to pass. It's Hansen. Hansen sacked inside the 15. They'll mark him either at the 11 or 12 as Will Haas in there on a sack again. What's that, his third?
Well, it'll be 2 full sacks because he's sharing that one with Tim McGee.
Yeah. Wow. Nice afternoon for Will Haas. 6'3", 275-pound defensive end for the Johnstown Generals. And he's right in the mood with everybody else. Little trash talking going on.
Yeah, Haas is beating around that right side of the Erie line, and that's one thing that I'm sure Coach Leotta is going to be talking about here after the third quarter ends.
It's a 5-yard loss for the Explosion. Here's Hansen back to pass. Let's it go toward the end zone. Caught and dropped. A good hit as that was pulled in by A.J. Harris, and Matt Speed said, "Welcome to the boards in Johnstown." He gave him his, well, we wouldn't call them the college boards. I guess we'd call them the UIFL boards. It's a different kind of exam.
But you know what? Speed had to use his name to get down there to try to break that up, and got there timely on that play. 21 seconds and counting here.
I'll tell you what, he's feeling that, Sam. He jumped over the boards there and sat down at his bench. He was holding his ribs on the way over.
Trainer's coming over to look at him.
Yeah, J.R. Cipra is going to attempt the field goal from his 5-yard line. He's going to miss that badly. Daquan Young bats it down, then picks it up. Comes out of the end zone. 5, 10, 15. Out near the 20-yard line, taken down at the 19 as time expires in the third quarter. We have 3 in the books here at the War Memorial in Johnstown, and the score, Erie 37 and the Generals 31. We'll be back with a fourth quarter after this timeout on the airnetwork.net.
The 9/11 memorial is for the 343 firefighters who didn't make it.
It will honor my lost partners and the officers who responded that morning.
It's for my brother. He was everyone's best friend.
For my husband who never came home.
And the first responders who saved my life.
It's about hope for the future.
So we always remember September 11th.
It will heal our community.
Show the world that we can rebuild.
That we are united.
And that we are strong.
Because the best of humanity can overcome the worst hate.
It's for all the heroes like my dad.
This is Robert De Niro. This year, as we open the 9/11 Memorial in New York City, we ask that you join us to honor, remember, and reunite. To learn more or to reserve your visit, go to 911memorial.org.
Brought to you by the 9/11 Memorial and the Ad Council.
It's the airnetwork.net and Johnstown Generals football. That pass from Andre Coles intended for Antoine Bagwell, and a flag comes in at the end. There could be interference called on the Erie Explosions number 3. That's Enrique Shaw. Discussion right in front of us here at about the 20-yard line in Erie territory. That's where we're set up here in the press box. Pittsburgh Penguins 5-2 win over the Boston Bruins this afternoon at Consol Energy Center. The penalty is against Erie. I didn't see the signal, Sam. Was that an interference call?
I didn't get to see it myself. I was running back up the steps.
All right. Well, here's the bottom line. They're moving the sticks, and the ball is placed down at the Erie 21. So it is a first down on that pass. I'd have to say it was interference that was called there on Enrique Shaw. So the Generals trying to get back in the lead here. All they have to do is score the touchdown right now. Andre Coles, back to pass. He shrugs off a tackle and completes it to Saletti inside the 10. Brought down at the 8. First down, Johnstown Generals with 14:10 left to go in the game. Right, you make more trips out of the booth than the Gypsies make into the Trucks and Pirate broadcast. What's the deal?
Oh, we're just trying to make sure that all the technical things are taken care of here. And
well, if they aren't, I've just been kind of excreting waste into the wind. Andre Coles with that little slingshot pass complete. Antoine Bagwell, end zone, touchdown, Generals. And we're tied.
And he left A.J. Saunders laying on the turf as he spun out of that possible tackle and getting the score.
First guy to smack the helmet of Andre Coles was Quinteen Robinson right off the bench, and he appreciates the hard work of his quarterback there. I'll tell you what, he's been throwing that sidearm delivery really well. I know you don't want to get into that all the time, but there are situations, and these short yardage situations seem to be the ones that you want to use that. Mike Robinson having a bit of a time getting back to the Erie bench after that play. Matt DeMonco's in to attempt the point after and put the Generals back up by 1. Matt's 1 point on the kickoff going through the uprights is the margin of difference here in this game as he drills that one through. And man, when I say drill, he really moved those goalposts.
Yeah.
Wow.
All
right.
The net went back like 10, 15 feet.
Yeah. 13:20 left to go in the game. The score, Johnstown 38, Erie 37 on the Air Network.
Join the airnetwork.net on Saturday, March 24th at 7 o'clock p.m. when the Generals travel to Marion, Ohio. That's just north of Columbus to face the Marion Blue Racers. Follow all the action of Johnstown Generals indoor football home and away all season long exclusively here at www.theairnetwork.net. Online or on any mobile device. Get your tickets for home games at www.johnstowngenerals.com and follow the Generals live on every game at theairnetwork.net.
All right, Johnstown to kick off the Erie. Johnstown reclaiming the lead at 38-37. And if you happen to not come to this game saying, I don't know if I could be entertained by that kind of football, What are you missing here? A 1-point game.
Yeah.
13:20 left to go. Touchdowns galore. You can score a point if you're good enough to put a kickoff through the uprights. Does it get any much more fun than this?
Well, DeMarcus, the way he's going, he might get us up by 2 here if he centers it up pretty good.
Oh, and he just made that little motion that he does when he kicks a field goal. Let's see if he can kick it off the tee and through the uprights again. Down the middle of the field. Yes! Matt DeMarcos for the second time this afternoon puts it through the uprights. The Generals pick up another point. They're up by a pair, 39-37. Wow.
This is good football, Dave. And that's going to put
Quintin right out off the bench to meet Matt DeMarcos. Wow.
And the best part of it is the Erie Explosion is going to start on their own 5-yard line.
Yeah, so that's lots of good things happened there, just in that short amount of time. And Quintin trying to make his way back onto the bench. There he goes. Whoop! Up over the boards. Like a line change in hockey. Clock rolling, 13 minutes left to go in the game. Pass is complete. Out around the 10-yard line and immediately bumped out of bounds by Garrett Herron's A.J. Harris. It'll be a gain of about 6. Make it 7 as the side judge standing about the 12-yard line.
I don't know.
2nd and 3.
I don't know if a lot of people know this, but last night they had the Wheeling Thunder in here playing hockey last night, ECHL. They took the ice out at midnight, and they put the turf surface out here where they could play indoor football today. And you got to give them a lot of kudos for the fast, hard work.
And here we are. There's Hanson as he lets go of the pass. Pass intended, I guess, for Terry Jackson. It was a little bit long for him, and he almost made it look like Garrett Herron was the intended receiver on that play. More so than Terry Jackson. And the other thing I was watching there, and he got rid of it just in time. He, meaning quarterback Colton Hanson rather. And I was wondering, he had maybe about a half a yard to go, or he'd have gone over the line of scrimmage as he was making that move up the field. His receiver's in motion. It's a quick pass to the receiver that was not in motion. That's A.J. Harris, and it's good for an Erie Explosion first down.
Yeah, Matt Speed was right there to stop him at the 20-yard line, right in front of the Generals bench, and really putting that hit on quickly.
Speed and Princes. How many times have you said those two names together here defensively this afternoon? These two guys teaming up are quite an opposition to the Erie Explosion.
Well, we would have said a lot more of Garrett Herron if we had known the number change.
39-37, Johnstown up. Hanson rolling to his right, throws back the other way across the grain, and the pass goes incomplete, a little bit low. Terry Jackson slid and tried to catch it but could not, and as Sam said, there was a flag on the play as well.
You know, the one thing, I know Terry Jackson has got to be frustrated, but
it's
probably
against Johnstown.
Probably not as much as what with Cole Hanson, you know, trying to get it to his guys, but it's just not working in their favor right now. And I'm sure when they go back to look at the film, they're going to see what those deficiencies were and why they had a bad afternoon. But they're only trailing by 2, Dave.
That's right. And they are now at midfield courtesy of that penalty on the Johnstown Generals. 11 minutes left to go in the game, and as we detailed for you at the beginning of the game, when they put 28 points up between them in about 9 minutes, or I'm sorry, with 9 left to go, meaning they only used 6 of the first quarter, getting this game into the 40s or 50s is not outside the realm of possibility. A nice pass that time from Hanson. Down on his knees, A.J. Harris pulled it in right at first down yardage. 1st and 10 at the Generals 15.
Garrett Herron was right there to make that hit, the stop. Now it's 1st and 10 from the 15.
That's right. They can still get a first down without having to go in. I don't think that's ever a worry, or I've not seen that been taken on. Oh, it's down on the ground. Hanson tried to throw it then and realized he was about at the line of scrimmage, and he had Tim McGee just about ready to introduce him to the floor of the War Memorial, and he dove forward. He ends up picking up 2 yards to his credit after he had that snap go awry and had the ball down on the ground. I'm not sure why, Sam, that doesn't end up being, since the ball was on the ground and he touched it, why it wasn't down right there.
Well, the one official threw the black flag to spot where it was at, just in case. But with all that pressure that Lamont Stevens was putting on, and there's Stevens again, there's another flag.
And getting away from the coverage is, as a matter of fact, the pressure from the Johnstown Generals was Colton Hansen. Kevin Dix with the pressure, and the penalty this time is against the Erie Explosion.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to get that call quickly. It's a holding against Erie. And it will be second down for the Explosion. I'm sure Coach Leotta is not happy with the way things are going here. They don't have a whole lot of time to really be messing around here. 9.5 minutes to go, but the way the Generals' momentum has been going here, the Erie cannot be giving up too many plays here like that to penalties.
And it's not the kind of a situation either where, and this football field, this game, the way it's laid out, you can't eat 9-17 en route to a score that puts you in the lead. That's not going to happen. Hansen, the quarterback, waves his receivers up. They sprint down the field. Rolls to his right, looks downfield, and the pass is incomplete. He had it in his arms, did Tyrone Morris, but Garrett Herron said,
Not in my house.
Nope.
Not on this day. Garrett Herron's just having 2 straight games where he has just been a beast in that backfield for the Generals.
And with that pass incompletion comes a third down. And, well, it's almost, let's call that 18. Third down and 18 for Erie. Don't know if that'll come into play here. We'll see what happens. It may. 8.5 left to go in the game. Here go the receivers. Shotgun snap back to Hansen. Hansen is now flushed out of the pocket. Lets it go downfield. Pass complete. And Garrett Herron.
That was a vicious hit.
Wow. I'll tell you what, he gave Tyrone Morris a preview of next week. I think he sent him into about Tuesday.
Yeah, well, and also another penalty against Erie.
I think there was a hold there.
Yeah.
On the Erie Explosion. I don't know if you just go ahead at this point and say, no, we'll decline that and make it 4th down and 18.
Well, the official is saying it's 3rd down again.
Well, that's it. They took the penalty. I don't know. Maybe you can't refuse it. That could be my misinterpretation of the rule here.
How about 3rd and 28, Dave?
Yeah, 3rd and 28. And as I indicated, it's not that big of a deal because J.R. Cipra has tried from farther away than this for field goals earlier in the game. Colton Hansen back to pass. Standing at his 10, lets it go toward the end zone. Too far. Out there and in the stands. Hit just short of, what is that down there? Section 21, maybe? So
yeah, section
just
21.
Just almost into section 21, just in front of it on the cement. Right in front of that. And as I say, here comes J.R. Cipra in to attempt from the 10-yard line.
So it's about a 40-yard field goal if he can make it.
Well, 40 plus the 7 yards maybe into the end zone where that crossbar and uprights are standing. And a timeout is called by the Generals. I guess they want him to think about it, do they? J.R. Cipra. All right.
Well, let's just tell you about this. Fans, the Johnstown Generals players and staff are going to be at the Elks located on Horner Street after the game for an in-game party. Come and meet the players and staff in person and have a great time. Players and staff will be available for pictures and autographs there as well. And don't forget, you can also stick around after the game for a chance to come down on the field for autographs and pictures immediately following the game. And that's with the Johnstown Generals, your football team in the UIFL.
Sean Leotta really giving it to the officiating crew here. And they give him a little tuba music from The Price is Right. Or at least that's what it sounded like to me. All right. Out there to attempt the field goal, J.R. Cipra. The The kicker out of Ohio Northern. Holding it for him will be Terry Jackson. Jackson down with his knee on the 10-yard line. J.R. Cipra approaches the ball. The kick is up. That will not make it. It's not long enough, believe it or not. Bounces about the 1. It's picked up there. Daquan out over the 15 will be brought down at the 17, and there are more shoes laying on the field. Daquan loses his that time.
Will Haas got fingertips on that ball. That's why it went kind of mid-level there on that kickoff or that field goal try.
Special teams have done really well here for Johnstown and may end up winning them the ball game right now. Special teams has them in the lead by 2 thanks to 2 Matt DeMarco's kickoffs that went through the uprights.
We've got a timeout call, but it looked like the way he was doing it was more like a technical.
Yeah, that's an immediate timeout, so we'll take a timeout too and be back with more. It's Johnstown 39, Erie 37, 6:58 left to go on the airnetwork.net.
Pennswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Pennswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Pennswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Pennswood.net Classifieds has it. Pennswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
And we are back in time for a flag on the play. As the snap came out of the Johnstown Generals.
Well, that was a lot of triumphant music for a flag, Dave.
Yeah, well, the penalties against Erie. That's why the music was there. Penalty puts the ball at the 22, where it will be first down and 5 for the Johnstown Generals. Clock rolling, under 6:40 left to go in the game. Generals trying to tack on some points and then hopefully hold on and be able to win their first home game and first game of the season, dropping last week's contest to Cincinnati. Receivers in motion. Cole's in trouble. He's going to go down at the 16.
Andre Portis, I mean, he was just charging right through that Generals line, and he was a man on a mission there looking for Coles.
He got him. Mike Robinson involved in the tackle as well, and that'll bring up a second down for the Johnstown Generals. And you know what, Sam? It took them right back to the original line of scrimmage, basically, just a little bit behind it, about a half yard. So it's going to be second down and 11 since half yards can't be calculated statistically. Second and 11, 5:45 left to go in the game, and the Generals up by a pair. Johnstown 39, Erie 37. Andre Coles back to pass. Little swing pass is complete to Jason Good. Jason gets out around the 20 and is bumped out of bounds. In there for the stop for Erie, it's Russell Fisher, the former Red Flash football player.
Yeah, Fisher was like right there, and then Enrique Shaw came in there to kind of finish it up. And the Generals seem like they're running into a few roadblocks here, but Erie keeps self-destructing with the penalties that they've been getting here lately.
All right, a big third down here. Receivers in motion, crossing the line of scrimmage. Coles lets the ball go, and Saletti could not come up with it. Man, Anthony Saletti had it there. It kind of slipped through his hands, and it goes incomplete, and it brings up a fourth down.
You know,
and that's going to bring Matt DeMoncos out.
Well, Coles, you know, you've talked about this a little bit earlier with Coles' sidearm motion there. I mean, he's doing it from either hand. And in that time, he was side throwing it there with his right hand there and just a little bit out from behind Saletti. Oh, here comes the field goal.
Yep, Matt DeMoncos on fourth down will try the field goal. He'll be doing it from the 13-yard line of the Johnstown Generals. So I would say not that big of a deal, but I don't want to jinx him, so I won't, although I did. Let's see what happens. Matt puts it down. Nope. He wanted to make sure that he's been playing a little bit of a hook here throughout the course of the afternoon. Hook to the left. He is a right right foot kicker, and he plays that hook to the left. And that time he just got solidly behind the football, and it went straight down and kind of actually tailed off the hash marks.
Yeah, I think the snap was also a little bit high there for the snapper to get back there to the holder, and DeMacus was trying to compensate there a little bit, and it just went a little bit wide right. So that's going to allow Erie to start from their own 10.
4 minutes left to go in the game, 39-37. The Generals, with a 2-point lead, will try to hold on and get a win. I'm sure they'd like to get an interception right about now. They won't on that play. Pass is complete from Colton Hanson to Tyrone Morris out over the 20 to about the 21-yard line. Good enough for an Erie Explosion first down.
Yeah, Matt Speed and Kevin Dix right there for the stop for the Generals, putting the ball still on the Erie 21-yard line. So the defense here for the Generals really need to step it up here with 3.5 to go.
Avery Hawkins out there on the field trying to coach his Generals into a good defensive stand. Clock rolling under 3:20. Hanson back, lets it go deep toward the end zone, wide open but too far for him. Tyrone Morris wide open in the end zone. Colton Hanson could not get it to him. He was trying to make sure Johnstown did not intercept, and he got too much underneath it.
Yeah, he was lofting it up in the air there, and when it finally came down and hit the funny bone sign down there in the end zone, it's like Tyrone Morris is, I can't get anything today.
He's had some company out there as far as receivers go.
Yeah, Jackson being the other one.
Clock does not stop, keeps on rolling. We're in the fourth quarter, 2:40 left to go in the game. Hanson motions his receivers up, is back to pass, looks downfield, lets it go. A little soft touch. It's complete. First down, getting away from the tackle and moving up, fumble. Ball's loose on the ground. And Johnstown has it, I do believe. No. Yes, they do.
Aaron Princess. He was initially the one going for it, but the one landing on it in the end when it counted was none other than Garrett Aaron.
Garrett Aaron adds another one to his resume.
Shoeless, too.
And not for the reasons that Joe Jackson was.
No.
Yeah, you can't say shoeless Garrett Aaron and imply anything other than he just played so hard to get that. I'll tell you, the pass was complete to A.J. Harris from Colton Hanson, and Harris then spun away from a would-be tackler. In the case of, I think that might have been Prince's that he spun out
initially,
of. And then they bring him down, and the ball bounces back toward midfield. Prince's goes after it. Then there's a big scramble, the Erie Explosion going after it, Princess and everybody else. And as Sam said, the guy who came out of it all with the football was Garrett Aaron. Down to the 2-minute mark left to go in the game. Johnstown would like to add to that 2-point lead. Andre Coles back to pass. He was running out of time. He lets it go just a little too tall for Anthony Saletti. That's where he had to throw it, though, Sam.
Yeah.
And Saletti was single coverage down there. And I think it was A.J. Harris that
on
was
the coverage, yeah. But there was one fan down there that was actually running behind the sideboards and caught it out like that. I mean, where he was kind of almost diving for it to get it, and he did catch it.
I'm sorry, that was actually the Slippery Rock product, A.J. Saunders.
Oh, okay.
Who provided the defense on that play. It is a second down for the Generals. Coles back to pass, looks downfield, lets it go. Pass complete to Saletti, head first into the sideboards. He is introduced to the Hampton Inn sign by number 24, John D'Angelo.
Flag on the play at the 12-yard line.
And that's in an area where holding is normally called. Erie already, Russell Fisher pointing toward Johnstown that the penalty is on them. The white hat comes out, does say holding, as we thought.
And it'll be second down for the Generals here. 1:12 left, Dave. I mean, if the Generals can hold on here, we'll sneak away with this victory. But I think the Generals want to get one more score on the board.
Absolutely. Be willing to take the field goal at this point. Clock rolling, 1:10 left to go. Johnstown taking their time in the huddle. 10-yard penalty makes it 2nd and 20 from the 11. And the Generals come out, and then a timeout is called. Clock stops with exactly 1 minute left to go in the game. The timeout called, and we'll be bringing you the end of this exciting game after Sam elucidates about something.
Well, we could do that. The AirNetwork.net is the region's only provider of live sporting events available online and on all mobile devices. The AirNetwork.net will broadcast all Johnstown Generals games live home and on the road this season, along with interviews of your favorite players, coaches, and staff, plus action-packed play-by-play of each game only at www.theairnetwork.net. And you know what, Dave? We get a week off coming up because the next game is on Saturday, March 24th at 7 o'clock when we travel out to Marion, Ohio to face the Marion Blue Racers, and that's just above the Columbus area of Ohio. So it won't be as long of a trip as what we had to Cincinnati.
And then back here for a Friday night contest at the Cambria County War Memorial on March 30th. All right, minute left to go in the game. Generals up by a pair. Andre Coles, back to pass, lets it go, and it's too wide, intended for Antoine Bagwell.
Yeah, Bagwell just a little bit ahead of the ball, and Enrique Shaw there on the coverage to make sure even if Bagwell had a chance, he wasn't going far.
And the clock stops with 57 seconds left to go in the game, and a big third down now for the Generals. If nothing else, you like to move it a little bit closer toward the Erie end so that Matt DeMoncos, if he does have to come out and try the field goal, has a little bit of a shorter field to kick from. Right now, he'd be kicking from about the 3-yard line. Here's Coles, back to pass, lets it go, behind his intended receiver, Anthony Saletti.
That's going to put it at 4th and 20, Dave. And
that's one of the toughest series I think I saw all day out of Andre Coles.
Yeah, I mean, there was one other instance there back early in the third quarter where, you know, we went through the downs real quick and nothing could happen. But with the leg of DeMoncos here, possibility we might take this to a 5-point lead, but DeMoncos has to put it through the upright.
I'd projected he'd kick from the 3. He's getting set up to kick from the 4. His holder will be Xavier Thomas, and we'll see if he can do it. Very accurate kicker. Johnstown native hits it. I think he pulled it to the left. Yeah, big time. And it goes up into the stands. A.J. Saunders was back there if there was a return possible, but there was not, as it goes over his head into the stands. 47 seconds left to go. Here you go, defense. It's all in your hands.
Yeah, thanks. And while we're talking a little bit of time here, Johnstown Generals games are being brought to you by the First Summit Bank, the official bank of the Johnstown Generals, the Corner Coffee Shop, Bel Air Plaza there on Scalp Avenue, Conemaugh Valley Regional Ambulance, and also American Screen Printing and Embroidery, located here in Johnstown with 2 locations. Don't forget, after the game, the Elks Club on Horner Street, the Generals After Party spot. They're also one of the great sponsors. And Dave, Shannon, we got more action.
All right, here's the snap to Hansen, rolling to his right, flag in the play, lets it go, pass complete, first down, and a little bit more, eventually bumped out of bounds by Aaron Prince's, the pass complete to Terry Jackson. Let's see what the flag is for.
I think it's against Johnstown.
And the head coach of the Erie Explosion, Sean Liotta, is out there, and he says he doesn't want the penalty. He wants the first down, and he takes it. So the ball gets out to right at the 20 is where they mark it down. And the chain gang having trouble there.
They're just dragging
it all work right.
Yeah, they're just dragging it along the side.
And, of course, as they do, they bail out of the way so that they don't interfere with the play that is going on. 41 seconds left to go in the game. Can the Generals hang on? Here come the men in motion. Back to pass, Hansen. Hansen being flushed out of the pocket, lets it go to work. Intercepted in the end zone. Is that Daquan?
That is.
Daquan Young with the interception in the end zone. No flags anywhere. All kinds of Generals people are out on the field. Wow, I thought he was going to complete that. That's been the kind of pass that Colton Hansen had been able to complete the whole game for Erie.
You know what, Dave? It looked like that pass was going to sail into the stands, but you know what? When Daquan came back and was heading back to the Generals bench, Russell Fisher there, your St. Francis grad there, gave him a big high five there as he came by. Good play.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. He didn't get that title belt for nothing. Take that, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he'll retain that title the way he's playing here.
Give him a little discount double check, buddy. 33 seconds left to go. And Johnstown needs to maintain possession and run this clock out if they can. Andre Coles trying to get his first win in the UIFL. Here come his receivers. He just takes the snap and falls on it.
Hey, you know what, Dave? That's probably a smart play.
Yeah, it's very similar to the NFL victory formation, except everything was in motion as it normally would be. Saletti and Bagwell tearing up the field, and he ends up falling on it. And so there's no gain. Actually, he gets a yard out of that, amazingly enough. And a timeout is called by Erie.
So with that being said, don't forget some of the other great sponsors of the Generals include Rossi's Country Market in Hooversville, the Winber Hotel, the Berg Coffee House there in Pittsburgh, Clay and Gascon LLC in Johnstown, and also in Indiana as well. Some great sponsors with Johnstown Generals football. And don't forget, you can listen to all the Generals football action right here on the Air Network, all the home and away games. Dave Shannon.
29 seconds left to go. Johnstown 39, Erie 37. Coles with a little swing pass. It's on the ground. Picking it up, though, and saving a potential turnover was Antoine Bagwell. Don't know if Andre just got that to him a little too hard, and it bounced right off his shoulder pads and down onto the turf at the War Memorial. But it is down at the 4-yard line. 23 left on the game clock. 39-37, and that sets up a third down now.
Yeah, Bagwell just got a little bit out in front of that ball that was being pitched out to him. And fortunately enough, Bagwell was able to save it there because Erie was about ready to pounce all over the ball.
Both head coaches, Liotta and Robinson, on the field, making their cases to their teams.
Yeah, evidently, Quintine called a timeout there to kind of settle him down here because it's still a ball game here where Erie could come back and win this.
What you have to make sure of, Sam, is that you maintain possession. And right now, quarterback Andre Coles is in the end zone. He drops back a couple of steps. Let's go. The football incomplete. And believe me, that's about as close to grounding as you want to get, but because there was no doubt that he was in the grasp and he let it go. And now flags come in afterward. Flags come in after the play is over.
They're all over the field, too.
Let's see, there's one,
I think there's a little bit more of jawing going on while the flags.
Yeah, this had nothing to do with that particular play. It was more of what happened afterward. So let's see what this sorts out into. Liotta being very demonstrative down there, and Quintine not nearly as much. Would tend to think that this may be going against the explosion.
Well, Quintine seems content with the call, but Coach Liotta for Erie still going at it.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm saying it looks as though that could be against Erie. But even a personal foul at this point, Sam, it'd be 15 yards, and it would still be a third down.
It looks like it's going to be against Erie because he's ready to walk it off toward Erie.
All right. Let's see where the ball ends up. We do have 19 seconds left on the clock, and another meeting between the white hat and the umpire there. And I see the back judge bringing the ball out near the 15-yard line. So that ends up being a 10-yard penalty. They place it at the 14, and it will be Johnstown ball.
4th and 6.
It should be.
No, they're going back the other way now.
Now they move it back.
To the 9.
To the 9. So I guess that was a 5-yard penalty on Erie. I never did get the hand signal.
Now we're moving the ball again.
From the white hat. Well, they move it back to the hash marks. Matt DeMoncos coming in to attempt a field goal again. 39-37, 19 seconds left to go, and nothing's over in the UIFL at that point. It's not over till there's zeros on the clock, folks.
Yeah.
Johnstown up by a pair, 39-37. Matt DeMoncos takes a look at it. Here's the snap. It's high. They get it down. It's blocked, and it's going to come and roll. No, it was touched by Erie and recovered by Johnstown.
And that means a
Generals
first down.
Football.
Number 32 for the Generals, Terrell Sims, getting all over that after it bounced off the sideboards.
Terrell Sims falls on the football, and now there's some heated discussion going on here about what the disposition of that play is. It was blocked on the attempt. It bounced up the field. When Erie tried to recover the ball, they fumbled it. It went down on the ground, and as Sam said, falling on it was Sims, and then we have a bigger discussion going on. Johnstown's offense is out on the field, and now the officials seem to agree it is Johnstown's ball. They're all pointing in that direction. Johnstown with it at their own 23-yard line, we'll call it.
You know what, Dave? I'm an official with various sports, but today I would not want to be in their shoes.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, especially in a tight game like this, and you have some big personalities, Quintine Robinson now getting into it with Sean Liotta. And, I mean, they are both drawn with the officials. Now Quintine backs up. Liotta comes in.
Quintine knows when to back up. I can say that much for him.
Yeah. He can read those facial expressions well. He knows when it's time to bail.
Yeah. Now he's trying to get the crowd fired up.
Yep, Quintine trying to get the fans up and cheering for the Johnstown Generals. They were going to move the football, and they are going to say that because Erie touched the ball after the block and at some point kind of looked like they had possession, it ends up being treated like a kick, like a punt in the NFL because it touched the Erie Explosion player. Johnstown recovered that loose ball on the field, and it's going to be Generals ball. 10 seconds left to go, but Liotta is going to get his
2 cents in.
Yeah, he's going to get his pound of flesh out of these guys. Well, Quintine being shuffled away by Shaquan Madison.
Yeah, he was right in front of the Erie Explosion bench, and Shaquan figures get him out of there while it's a safe thing.
I think he's also, he's had some choice words for either, I don't know if it's Kirk Rierick or Jeremy Liotta. It could be the coach's son, Jeremy, that he's having words with.
Yeah, Andre Coles just ushered him back to the end zone there to keep him out of harm's way.
And a fan comes down out of the stands and embraces Quintine Robinson. Quintine comes running up, and he does a leap right up off the field, right to the top of the boards, and back into the Johnstown bench. That's a good place to be. You're amongst friends. 10 seconds left to go. Generals up by a pair, and up under center is Andre Coles. Takes the snap, falls forward, actually ends up picking up about 2 yards on the carry.
This has been the longest 10 seconds, Dave, I've seen in football in a while.
You got that right. Down to 6 now, and Erie does call a timeout. So there's a timeout on the field with 6 seconds left, and Johnstown up 39-37.
Königsberg Protect Systems USA, Hilltop Chiropractic in Johnstown, Hidden Valley Resort, and Proteus, sponsor of the Gridiron Circle, along with Sheer Magic at 227 Market Street in Johnstown, Advanced Office Systems, Sheets, home of the MTO, and Cambria Road Business College. Some great sponsors with Johnstown Generals football games being brought to you here on the airnetwork.net.
All right. Will it be the final play of the game? We don't know. We'll just have to let it play out and see what we come up with. All right, Andre Coles up under center.
Fumble.
And he actually fumbled the football and eventually gets control of it, dives forward. They mark him down back about a yard from where he ended up, about a loss of a yard on the play, and a whole bunch of flags came in there as well. Quintin's back out on the field. His shirt has become untucked out of his pants.
He even got Steve Grassmeyer up here on the sides as well. All right, it's going to be second down, Dave. Penalty goes against Johnstown. Offsides.
All right, Quintin being waved off. So get out of my face. I've had enough of you. Liotta already bailed out of the area. So here we go. 3 seconds. This might, Sam, be the final play of the game.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that just yet.
All right, the penalty puts the ball back at the 14-yard line of the Johnstown Generals. And this will probably be Coles under center. It's third down, too, by the way. So this should be Coles under center, taking the snap and falling forward. Let's see if that's what does happen.
Coach Liotta still jawing it with the officials. We ain't going to get started.
He's right up at the line of scrimmage right now.
Yeah, he's ready to get in there and play, I think.
And now the side judge comes in and says, you know, why don't you just back off here? You got the call you wanted on that play, which it wasn't called for that reason. It was called because Johnstown was offside.
He wants more time on the clock.
I don't think that would be the case. If they do put something back on the clock, I don't think
third down. But they're moving the ball to the 24-yard line here.
Okay. Now this would tend to indicate that they've waived off the penalty completely. Liotta apparently did not want the penalty. And so Andre Coles is back in the shotgun, as he is most of the time. Here come his receivers. That snap almost got away from him. He lets it go toward the end zone. It goes on to the patio, and the clock runs out. The final score, as the Generals go to 1-1 on the season, Johnstown 39 and Erie 37. The Generals picking up a win. We'll be back with Quintin Robinson after we have these words on the airnetwork.net.
The 9/11 memorial is for the 343 firefighters who didn't make it.
It will honor my lost partners and the officers who responded that morning.
It's for my brother. He was everyone's best friend.
For my husband who never came home.
And the first responders who saved my life.
It's about hope for the future.
So we always remember September 11th.
It will heal our community.
Show the world that we can rebuild.
That we are united.
And that we are strong.
Because the best of humanity can overcome the worst hate.
It's for all the heroes like my dad.
This is Robert De Niro. This year, as we open the 9/11 Memorial in New York City, we ask that you join us to honor, remember, and reunite. To learn more or to reserve your visit, go to 911memorial.org.
Hi, this is Greg Banks of the Air Network, proud to bring you the 2012 Johnstown Generals indoor football season. You can listen to games home and away this season online or on any mobile device. The Air Network is also the home of weekly podcasts featuring the likes of columnist Dave Hurst with his take on regional activities and adventures, plus other interesting topics of discussion. By the way, if you have a sports team and want your games broadcast live worldwide, we can do it on the airnetwork.net. Call our offices weekdays at 814-539-4045 and get set to be a part of the future of radio today. The airnetwork.net, bringing you exclusive coverage of the 2012 Johnstown Generals indoor football season right here on the Air Network.
the Johnstown Generals get their first victory of the season in their home opener by a final of 39-37. Quintin Robinson, I don't know if I think you put more miles on yourself today than anybody else out there. I'll tell you what.
I'm definitely emotional. I get involved.
That's an understatement.
Yes, I want to be out there. So, the adrenaline is running through my body as well. So I'm just trying to absorb this win. I'm proud of my guys, the way we stepped it up. We work hard, we run extra at practice, and I told them this is what we do it for.
Andre Coles, great comeback after last week. He had his 3 interceptions. No interceptions this week. Seemed to be more attuned to the way he threw the ball depending on the area of the field that he was in. When he was in short yardage coming toward the end zone, he kind of shortened his throw up and really threw the ball hard right to his receivers. And he would air it out when he had a lot of field to work with. A big change from last week at Cincinnati, for sure.
Well, like I said, me and Andre went back to the drawing board and we went to work. And it wasn't that I was dissatisfied with his performance. There was just a couple little things he had to become accustomed with. And, we sharpened that out today. We beat a good Erie team who thought they were going to come in here and roll over top of us. They came in screaming, hooting, and hollering. I expressed to my guys, we got to stay focused. We had a couple situations where we broke down as well, but we was able to rebound. So, that's hats off to my team.
No question. One of the other things that happened, we had, another great performance by Bagwell. He's just such a solid receiver out there. But Saletti really came to the plate today and stepped things up.
We brought Scaletti out. We wanted to dress him. We wanted to get him involved. He had a great camp, great mini camp. He had some nice hands. He dropped a couple balls today that he normally wouldn't have. But, again, it was his first professional game. So I think he did real well to compliment the receivers. Overall, we just play as a team, and that's what I'm expressing to him. It's about team, no I.
The one thing that really set this game apart, though, was Matt DeMarcus coming in and getting those kickoffs through the uprights, the 2-point advantage. Hitting both of those made the difference.
Matt DeMarcus, hands down, best kicker in the league. To me, he was one of the best kickers in the league last year as well. He just got a late start. Now he understands the arena, understands how to kick indoors. He played at big-time schools. He went to Wisconsin out of high school, ended up transferring to Akron. So he's accustomed to kicking in big games, and, I'm happy to have him back.
No doubt about it. He really did a nice job. Your defense did a nice job today, too. Garrett Herron, and Daquan had another really good game. Both of those guys just able to catch up with any receiver in the league. Nobody's going to get behind them.
No, we have a couple breakdowns in our secondary every now and then, but for the most part, those guys work together. Matt Speed, Garrett Herron, and Daquan, the champ. He calls himself self-proclaimed.
He's got the belt.
With the belt. But, and that's a work in progress. My goal as a coach is to continue to improve our team. So what you see this week, the next time that we come out here, we're going to be a lot better. And, that's how we can continue to practice and we continue to prepare.
Speaking of that, you're going to have 2 weeks before you play again. Is that a plus, or would you rather, after the momentum and the good game you played here, play again next week?
Well, sometimes you need a little rest. Fortunately, we don't have a lot of guys banged up, so it's not something that we need, so to speak. But we'll deal with it. The schedule is a schedule, and we had the schedule for a while, so we knew this was coming. We're just going to continue to prepare.
All right, good win today, right in front of your hometown fans.
Now the party's going to go on at the Elks.
Yeah, headed to the party at the Elks. After party, make sure you're there. Come support the team. You'll meet the coaches, players, and everybody else that's involved. Thanks again. No, that's not my spot.
Now we have a couple of appearances coming up this week, too, on Tuesday at American Eagle, and then again on Wednesday at
Coffee Shop.
Yeah.
Corner Coffee Shop.
Yeah, Tuesday we'll be at American Eagle downtown. We'll be out there, and the kids want to come by, adults. I got autographs, different things we'll be having going on. Same situation at the Corner Coffee Shop. These businesses, these local businesses are supporting us, and we want to just show them that we appreciate that any way possible. So, please come out and support the cause. Sure you'll have some discounts at different places, and you'll get to meet some nice people. Our players are good people in general.
Yeah, they are.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
All right. Very good. Congratulations, Coach. You got your first win of this season. I think there'll be many more to come. And the next time we'll see you is on the bus on our way to Marion. Thanks.
That's right. Thank you very much. Let's go Generals.
All right. Once again, the head coach of the Johnstown Generals Quintine Robinson, and he makes his way back down as the post-victory party will be taking place, and he will have fun. I'll tell you what, that man
is the life of the party.
And I'll tell you what, he will, and I don't see him changing over the course of his life. He is going to stay the same, and he will never gain a pound. He will never gain a pound. He is he's just into, if he's after it, it's full throttle.
Yeah.
That's the way he approaches everything. And so he gets his win here, 39-37. And I think a bit of a statement, too, as he said, and it was even proven with your pregame interview with Coach Liotta from the Erie Explosion, that there was a thought that they were going to come in here and just, have their way with Johnstown. Yeah. And that didn't happen. I'll tell you, there were times when it kind of looked that way.
Yeah.
But the Generals bristled up and, held to their game. And Andre Coles grew leaps and bounds to go along with his receivers, his defense. And good things are to come yet.
Well, one of the observations that I made is with the Explosion, they kept trying to jaw the Generals to kind of like fighting them, like it was a prize fight. And the Generals, they kept that focus, and they were able to keep that focus leveled right on the game. And they were able to, they kept it real close, and then they just took it over. DeMarcus, I think, was the ultimate player of the game with hitting those two kickoffs.
Yeah, you win the game by 2 points, and those are his 2 points.
Yeah.
He made those by hitting a kickoff through the uprights and over the crossbar of the goalpost in the end zones, and he did that 2 times. That's your 2 points. Johnstown wins 39-37. For Sam Jordan and Greg Banks back at the old radio ranch, so to speak, manning the knobs back there as we had some technical difficulties early on with our broadcast. Hopefully everything finished up strong as we intended to do, and we will catch you all again in a couple weeks, a couple Saturdays from now, as the Johnstown Generals travel to Marion. Sam, thank you.
Thanks very much, Dave. I'll see you on the bus here in another 2 weeks.
All right, sounds good. Generals 39 and Erie 37. Generals now 1-1 in the UIFL. We'll have more Generals football for you as the season rolls on. And for Sam Jordan and Greg Banks, this is Dave Shannon saying good night, everybody.
Johnstown Generals Indoor Football has been brought to you in part by Penswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally, and by the Johnstown Generals, who hit the road on Saturday, March 24th against the Marion, Ohio Blue Racers. Join us for all the action live online or on your mobile devices all season long. Thanks for listening to Johnstown Generals Football exclusively on the AirNetwork.net.